Hello and welcome to another live. I'm trying to do something different here today, so I'm trying to figure out, I don't know if anyone can hear me. If anyone can hear me, could they just type yes? I've got a different headset on today, and so I don't know if anyone can actually hear what I'm talking about. So I'm trying to find me. Can anyone hear me? I don't know if anyone can hear me. Can you just write yes if you can hear me? I can. Yes, you can. Okay, great. Okay, so I'm trying to beat TikTok with the algorithms, etc. So I've got a headset on. I feel like a Borg, and I've got a phone that's now pointing at a screen. And with luck, I will be able to find myself on another phone. Yeah, I know, it's complicated. So I don't even know how you're supposed to find people when they're live. Let me... Following. Let's see if... there we are, live. Why didn't it let me see myself live? Click. There we are. Okay. So, hi Goddess Jane. Hi Gary. So I'm now on. I'm now on another phone, but it's not. There we are. So it is. We can hear. Okay. Right. So now we're going into another room. I'll leave that playing, and we'll see if TikTok bans us for being really bad. So literally. Good evening from Perth, Australia. Hi, Toma. Sorry, I'm just trying to move a cat who decided to sit in a chair because oh, sorry, cat. Oh no, don't do the meow part. Don't feel bad. Okay, so yeah, so apologies for the background, but it was the best I could do. So yeah, so basically, as you can see, every now and then you will see details. Check the spelling, there's probably a spelling error with the hair is somewhere. Just check it now. No, it looks good actually. And so I've used AI in the background just to stop TikTok from telling me that there's no moving images in the background. So, right, okay, so we'll see what happens today. Yeah, that's me. Right there. Can't hear me, why? Oh no, don't say that. Really? Oh no. Oh no, that means there's a... Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear... You sound far away. What about now? So is that better now? So I've had to come in the same room, so I'm guessing this... I think you have the mic on or not the other one. So basically, I'm using a headset so I can read. Thank you, loud and clear. Okay, so that means I have to now sit in the bedroom where the so it's not too far from the... Let me just move stuff off the bed. Excuse me, ladies, get off the bed. I'm joking. There's only one lady on the bed. Come on, lady, off you get. I've told you. Once you've had breakfast, go. Okay, so I'm just going to sit myself down. Okie dokie. Alright, where we are. Hi Elise. Nice of you to join. So, I'm trying to... Okay, so my voice okay now, or... Sorry about this, guys, just trying to sort it out. Hi Kerry. So we'll see if TikTok limits me for the background. So, while I wait for anyone to join and ask a question, thanks Gary. Cool, thanks Jane. I have been researching like mad. Hi Chantel. Hope you guys are well. So I have been researching like mad, and I can say with a very, very high percentage, pretty much nearly 100%, that there were Anunnaki with red hair. Now I had said that I thought Marduk had red hair, but I've come across some other information, proper information in museums, that has basically solidified that there was redhead Anunnakis, and Inanna may have been a redhead. Can you believe that? So I don't want to spoil too much, because there's a video coming out where I actually describe who Lucifer was, which no one has even come close. User 3 has wrote, watched a film called The Abyss, brilliant, made me think, could this be what it's like down there? Well, I mean, greys, the alien greys do go down there, so what they've set up down there, I have no idea if they've set anything up at all. It may have just go down there and kidnap whales and insects, and underwater insects, shrimp and things like that. So I don't know if they would actually. Thank you, whoever's doing the hearts. I just noticed it on the other phone, because I'm reading this from a different phone, so this is all a bit weird. Thank you. I can see the hearts over there. Oh, I can see them here on this phone as well. Oh, how bad am I? Thank you. Yeah, so I don't really know whether or not the aliens have set up bases. I've heard stories that they've set up bases, but I don't know whether that's true or not. I mean, yes, setting a base up underneath the ocean is a good way of avoiding us, but probably the least practical. I mean, if their craft can go from here to the moon, what, a minute, is it really worth coming down, setting up bases? The chances that something may go wrong and obviously get flooded. The logic for me is I wouldn't bother, I would go somewhere else, but maybe it was a piece of cake for them, and maybe they have set up bases underneath the ocean. User 3 is right. I remember you saying they drop hints in films. I do. So yeah, I mean, I think they certainly do. I mean, Spielberg is apparently working on another alien film, so he's very interested in it. And Project Serpo is based off of, or Close Encounters is based off of Project Serpo. So yeah, I think they do. Certainly Roland Emmerich. Yeah, I mean, when you look at the films, even Prometheus had the Anunnaki symbol on one of the buttons. I knew it straight away as soon as I saw it. It was the what they call the winged disc, and that was to do with the home planet for Nibiru. Why add that when you're not even talking about Anunnaki? Why add a old Sumerian symbol that means the home planet of the Anunnaki, unless you know that that's what you're referring to? And of course Prometheus has these giant humanoids, which is what the Anunnaki would have been like. So yes, I think they definitely do drop hints. Thomas wrote, thoughts on A1 Atlas or AI Atlas? I still haven't done a deep dive. There's a lot of information coming out pretty much daily on it. So if I was to look now, in a week's time there'll be more information that will be out, and whatever I've concluded or thought may be changed. So it's not to say that I'm not going to look into it, but it's such early days at the moment. My only worry is when you've got institutions like the BBC saying that it's could be alien. That means to me, there's a picture of me in the background there, you just probably saw me. That means to me, yes, that's me kissing a can of Coke. That's me winning the lottery. Sorry. And this is my my car. The other one's a spaceship. Sorry, thank you, question. You don't have to do that, but thank you. It's really nice of you. But yeah, so when BBC says something like, could it be alien? They're planting a seed. It's a psyop. So I've said this on my videos, on my live chats forever. Do not trust them. These are the people that make fun of people that say aliens, and now they're saying, oh, maybe it is alien. And that's because what's going to happen, there's another meteorite, I don't know if you guys are aware of this, they're supposedly going to send up nukes. That's a meteorite that's going to hit the moon. So they're thinking of sending up a meteorite to stop it from hitting the moon. You got to wonder if they're prepping us. So, here in the UK we have these phone that has this emergency alarm on it that the government will send to us to tell us to do X, Y, Z, such as stay indoors, which is where I keep saying that they're definitely what they want to do, so that they can switch on their 5G towers and people will be unalived inside their own houses without blaming the government, and they'll say, oh, well, that was the alien spacecraft, or that was the meteorite that was coming that's killed everyone. Everyone gets blamed, everything else gets blamed. Oh, well, it was a solar flare that wiped out the electricity and cut out communications and blah blah blah. Don't trust them at all. So I do worry that it may be something to do with Project Bluebeam. Thank you, I was doing that. As soon as it sees a face, it puts the heart on the face. So we may have tricked Google, YouTube, TikTok, because I can see 40. The problem is they normally limit me to 50, and when they tell me off, I get down to about 30 to 20 for not having moving background. So I have a feeling they're just going to keep me at 50, 50, the same old 50. Thank you, Piggleline. Thank you. Is that because of the magic in the background that's happening? It gives you something to look at instead of... questions wrote... Thank you again, Piggleline, bless. Questions wrote underground. I'm guessing that's... referring to bases that the aliens have. Yes. Many, obviously you probably all know of Phil Schneider talking about bases underground, alien bases, not human bases. However, we do have human bases, which is where the elites will go when the time comes, and we'll all be blaming something else, but we won't be blaming them. And all the military, this is what's sad, all the military that will be escorting these rich, excuse my language, these rich people to the underground bunkers, all their families will be in their houses being unalived, and these military people will be thinking it's whatever the psyop is, whether it's an alien invasion or whatever. So they won't blame the people that they're taking to these underground bunkers. They'll be going, oh yeah, let's do our job, and it's a shame Auntie Flo and Uncle Bulgaria's getting killed, but it's not no one's fault other than these aliens or this meteorite or this solar flare or whatever excuse they're going to come up with. And it's really sad, because if these army people had half a brain and did some research, they'll say, hang on a minute, this is done by you guys, hell no, bang bang, bye bye, job done. Everyone, you can carry on now. Nothing's going to happen. Anyway, Pickles Time's right. Why do you sound like you are in a jar? I'm using a wireless headset, so that I could. The plan was I could sit in another room, but it doesn't seem to be working. So what I'll do, I'm going to switch the headset off and sit over near the other phone, which has got the microphone on it. If that helps, then if I'm in a jar. I'm sorry, I tried. What a shame, I was so close to almost having it working. Maybe I'll buy a more expensive headset or something, maybe that might help. So okay, so I'm just going to switch off this this headset now, so I will be back in a sec. I remember how you switch this one off. La-di-dee, la-di-da. How do you turn it off? What button was it? I've only used it once. That was just to do a test. It should say power off. Come on. Why are you not saying power off? I'm holding down the button. I might have to go to the other phone and switch Bluetooth off. One sec, let me see if I can switch Bluetooth off. Okay, so I've switched Bluetooth off, so I don't know if you can hear me. Thank you, Pickleline. I'm guessing that's because you can still hear me. So I'm going to assume you can still hear me. We can. Brilliant. Thank you. Okay, I'm trying to do two phones and. Okay, where was I? Get a new mic. Yeah, it was. I just ordered it on eBay, and it didn't quite do what. Maybe I'll have to buy a more expensive one or a wired one or something. Sorry, I'm just trying to find where I was. It scrolled down. Okay, Alex has wrote, I got to watch Prometheus again. Yeah, it's a very quick cut on the button, but yeah, it's literally telling us that that race was the Anunnaki. Kieran has wrote, Lord Light Spirit, the rest saves trees. I have no idea what that means, Lord Light. Kieran. Lord Light Spirit, the rest saves trees. I don't know what that means. Elohim has wrote, Prometheus is no, sorry, it's not got a K there. Prometheus is how we know they would all about the Anunnaki history. Hill, a hybrid is possible in charge. You mean in charge here? I still think the Anunnaki are in charge. I think Marduk's having a battle with Inanna. I haven't even uploaded it yet. There's a thing that I done with AI where I chat, and we chatted about ancient weapons. So it's a video or audio that will be going up, and I wanted to know whether or not there's any chance we can find out whether there was any weapons used. So a lot of the Anunnaki obviously had technology. We know Inanna had weapons, we know that. So I wanted to know whether or not Inanna, for example, helped someone, human, with technological weapons to win the wars. I don't want to spoil the answer because the actual chat is not only fascinating, it's groundbreaking at the end. I don't want to spoil anything for you. Absolutely groundbreaking. I learnt 3 humongous bits of evidence in that. So yes, and I've backed it. I've checked it since. Obviously, I don't always trust AI. So yes. Kieran's wrote, Lord me witness. Thank you, Mazzy. I hope I pronounced that right. TikTok seems to be limiting me still, or there's only 27 people that's ever interested in listening to me. Elohim Hunters wrote, get a new mic. Yeah, I think I'll look into that. Chantel's wrote, I ain't prepared. I live day by day. Yeah, yeah, I hear you. Pickle Lines wrote, can I be in the class now? You can indeed. Question as wrote, I was referring to bases. Yes, exactly. Oh, yeah. So I got that right, hopefully. Questions, put smiley face. Jane has put for you page, but they are limiting me. You can tell. I mean, you can tell. Lucas wrote salute or salute. Salute back to you. I'm totally butchering the pronunciation because that's how bad I am. Question has wrote, OK sign. Lucas wrote, what can you tell us about Atlas 3i? I haven't looked into it because there is so much change in it daily. Now, there is one thing. I had said something. I can't even remember what it was. And I was the first person on the planet to suggest it, as usual. And then there was this. I think he is Israeli, Levi something or other. He's a professor or something like that. And he said the thing that I'd already said. So either he'd come across mine or he'd come to the same conclusion. So I did a TikTok video, this was probably about a year ago, saying, hey, this guy, as it stands, I'll assume he didn't see my video, or other people haven't, watched my video and then, he's watched theirs. I'll assume he's come to the conclusion on his own. And so I was very impressed because what I thought no one else had thought, and so I was impressed with it. Anyway, he is actually saying now that this is an alien craft. So the same guy that I gave credit to is looking into it. So if he genuinely thought the same thing as me, then very clever guy. I'm not saying I'm a genius. I'm just saying for him to have said whatever it was, I can't remember. I did a TikTok on it. So yeah, if he's saying it's an alien craft, then it may be an alien craft, or the data that he's being fed wants us to believe it's a alien craft in order for them to do Project Bluebeam. Questions that we can. That was when I was talking about sound. Yeah, I'm sitting over near the other phone now, so I've got two phones. Avi Loeb, someone's wrote. I just saw the bottom of the. That's it. Yes, thank you. Yeah, I didn't know his surname. Thank you. Picklelines wrote. Picklelines wrote. Your voice sounds better now. Thank you very much, Pickleline. You should hear me in the morning. Bum bum. Where's my tea? Go make me a cup of tea. Questions, but question marks. You're confusing me. Question marks. Clever's wrote, blimey, I'm not used to you having visuals. No, I know. It's because TikTok limits me to about 30, and lo and behold, they're still limiting me. So we haven't gained anything whatsoever other than we've now got moving background. So yeah, I think TikTok's always going to limit now. I think that's I can't see any. Yeah. I mean, you could say, well, it's a Saturday, people are out, blah blah blah, but it's the same amount of people that I can see is the same amount that they normally limit me to. So it kind of does feel like they've limited me. Questions wrote, love to see it. That was me talking about. Probably the chat I did with AI. I don't know if that's what that was referring to. Nicole's wrote, my favourite live. Oh, bless you. How did you know I was on, Nicole? Did it tell you, or did you just stumble across me? I only asked because we're on 34, and that's pretty much what they've been sticking it to me recently. So I'd be interested to know if they actually bothered letting you know. Sorry, I was just thank you, Chantel. I was just reading something from TikTok. It said Our True History's fan club I didn't know I had one has completed the first stage of the club quest and unlocked an unlocked club. Cheers. All fans can now send it to celebrate. Well, how about this TikTok? F off and fucking unblock me. I don't think I think that the fans, if I've got any, would rather have more people here than you limit them. How about that? Elohim Hunters wrote, we know they age super faster on Earth. I'd bet they're not even on planet. Well, Marduk is on the dollar bill, so the chances that someone had put all of his symbols, etc., on the dollar bill for a giggle is pretty slim to none. So the chances are Marduk is the god we trust and all that kind of stuff that's on the dollar bill. So I do think, it's only 3 months of their time since King Solomon, and I use that because that's pretty much the last time that a god spoke to anyone properly. So 3 months, I can't imagine them going away. Questions wrote, lots of us enjoy your lives. Oh, thank you. It's just a shame they limit me. So now that I've got this little setup with the background, I might try a Instagram live one day. But the problem with Instagram is the people. If you're an Instagram user, block your ears right now. But my God, TikTok people are so much more intelligent. Even though I've had, I've had my fair share over the 4 years or however long I've been doing TikTok lives. But my God, thank you, Sue. The people on Instagram literally have to hide. You can tell they hide the fact they love my videos because they actually have to send me messages in the background saying love it, but yet they didn't put a like on it on the video or comment. Because the people that are commenting, and I'm not going to point out a particular race or anything like that, but the people that are commenting on the video are aggressive as hell, and I can't even describe the words for them. So yeah, literally blocking so many people on Instagram just because they're rude and totally thick. I mean, absolutely thick. Thank you, Big Online. Sorry if I'm going on, but yeah, I mean, every morning I'm thinking, how thick can people even get? It's right up there with anyway. So yes, right up there with me. How thick they are. Pickle Line's giving me an apple for the teacher. Oh, thank you, Pickle Line. That's really nice of you. Thank you very much. We have a date for our screening, by the way. It's the 28th, so I don't know if I'll have a chance to do a live while I'm there, so I may just record people coming in and sitting down in the cinema. Thank you, Pickle Line. So yeah, fingers crossed they liked the film. Thank you, Pickle Line. And then I can move on, once that screening is done, I can move on to the Anunnaki movie. So yeah, definitely good stuff there. Questions wrote, I did state it in several of your earlier videos. I can't remember. And then you wrote, whoops, I mean, you did state it. I can't remember what that's for, but thank you. Questions wrote, laugh out loud, that's the point. Pickle Lines wrote, then call me in the morning, I'm awake at 5 a.m. Pickle Line, you... I was going to be rude. I was going to say, Pickle Line, you wouldn't get any sleep. But I'm not going to do that because that'd be that's not me. I'm not that type of person. Because I snore. Boom, boom. Sorry, I'm joking. God, my jokes get worse. Questions wrote, yes, the chat. It popped up on my phone. Oh, cool. That's good. Pickles Lines wrote, oh, that is a 4 a.m. your time. Yeah, I'll be fast asleep. El Buhu has wrote, my regards and blessings, my friend. Oh, well, thank you very much. I don't recall seeing your name before, so thank you very much for jumping in here. Thank you, Real Silver. Questions wrote, you have fans. Thank you.
Never ever thought I'd have fans. Certainly not talking about aliens anyway, that's something for sure. El Bahu has put little angelic-y type faces. Question has wrote, ever think of doing a live Q&A on Discord live and stream it here? You know, I say I'm thick. I don't get Discord. My daughter's tried to explain it to me. I used it once when I had to use Midjourney about a year or two ago. But I have no idea. I don't get it. I don't. It's illogical. It's all arse about face, and I don't know. Maybe I mean, if you think there's a market for it, you know, in other words, enough people that would want to join it. Does any of you guys actually use Discord? I well over my head. I mean, I could learn it, but just looking at it hurts me. It really hurts me. I don't want to look at Discord again. But no, if you, my daughter swears by it. So yeah, I mean, I could do that. If people are on Discord, I don't know if they are. Yeah, that's as much as I know of Discord. Pickle Lines has put a little heart. Oh, thank you, Pickle Line. L has wrote, if you install alien technology to AI, you will all see AI alive. Install alien technology to AI. I hear what you're saying. It's possible. Cotswolds right, always love these live, thanks. Oh, thank you. I've put a background there. Oh, there's Wonder Woman. Where did she come from? That was all these pictures and videos and stuff are from thumbnails and stuff that I've used for my films over the years. So I probably was talking about an Amazonian woman, and so Wonder Woman would have been the image that AI would have created for me. This isn't my personal adult collection with Wonder Woman on it. This is just all the AI stuff. And no, I don't have a personal adult collection. What you like? Stop it. For God's sake, children, stop. Sorry. Questions wrote, or an opportunity to speak with you live. So I have done ones, I was just testing this out today, but I have done lives where people come up and chat. But the problem is, if TikTok's limiting me, which I wanted to see today whether or not it still does, to 30, and it seems to be the case, then we may not have many people coming up chatting, because it may be the sort of, without sounding rude, the same 30 or thereabouts. So yeah, it's a tricky one. Bloody TikTok. Suez wrote, I love you, top man, not in that way. So, well, why not? Sue, why not? Come on. Thank you, Sue. Bless you. Cotswolds wrote, can't wait for the Anunnaki movie. Well, I tell you what I have done. Let me just check on the other screen. I've got two monitors. I'm just going to see when it's released. There's a video that I've done. It's bloody good. I sat and watched it again. It's called Everything That Happened. It is blinding. It's really good. It's got 41 minutes left before it drops. It's 7 minutes long. The second part's already done. It's I can't spoil it because it's really good, but it's for now this will do while you're waiting for the Anunnaki movie. So it's not a documentary. It's watch it. You can get to it from my website, or it's on Patreon. It's free on Patreon, so just I think you might just have to register. I don't know. I just click free for everyone to watch it, but that is very good. It without sounding big-headed, I think it's hopefully going to do really well and make people wake up. So yeah, but yeah, the Alien Anunnaki film. Yeah, the script's all done and everything, but I can't. I don't like starting too many things, even though I do. While something else is still up in the air. So in other words, once the screening's over and done with, and people say, "Yeah, you're bloody amazing film. You're a genius," usual stuff. Once that's done, the producer can then take the film round to festivals and contact all the studios and all that blah blah blah. So yeah, and from that moment, once the film's had the screening, I can then concentrate on shooting the Anunnaki movie, which I desperately want to do. L has wrote, alien technology has a component that is more effective and efficient than lithium. I obviously, unless you can tell us that component, but yeah, I would agree that some of these aliens are probably millions of years apart, in terms of technology. Questions put laughing face. Hopefully that was something funny I said. So Real Silver's put a thumbs up. Piggles Lines has wrote, "Oh Lord, you are naughty." Oh, matron, stop. Me naughty? No, I'm a good guy. I don't flirt with anyone, unless you think it's a flirt. In which case, how am I doing and how are you doing? I'm terrible, aren't I? Questions wrote, "I can help with tech." What to do with the Discord? I can help the host. But does any of okay, thank you, that's nice. But does any of the sort of normal people, when I say normal, the wonderful, Kerry and History and Coins and Piggle Line and Nicole and blah blah blah, do they use Discord? Because otherwise, what would I do? I don't know whether you can stream it to TikTok or whether I'd just be reading them out from another computer. I don't know how that would work. Kerry's right, I use Discord sometimes. See, Kerry, I told you was smarter than me. My hat's off to you, because I can't stand the bloody thing. I think it's so confusing. Questions wrote, understandable. Sirius wrote, I use it. It's a painful time. Thank you. So it's not just me that thinks that then. Oh wow, that's good. I thought it was just me thinking it's really awkward. Thank you, Sue. Maybe I'm not as thick as I thought I was. Question has wrote, cool. Elle has wrote, you searching wrong path. You have in your hands a precious energy that converts AI living thing. I'd be very interested to know if Elle follows me. I'm just going to go to the other phone and see if I can find Elle. You do follow me. You searching the wrong path. Don't hate me for this, but the path that I'm searching, I'm yielding the results of what it is that I search. So I don't think I'm on the wrong path. I'm on the right path and making headway. I'm not looking for a spiritual path or anything like that. I'm just looking to see whether I can solve mysteries. And my God, that you can't. I cannot believe I've solved. You guys already know. You've probably heard me say before who Lucifer was. You've probably heard me say that. For those ones that already know who I said it was, I am 100% correct. I was right. And on top of that, I can tell you who he was. I can tell you why he got in trouble. I can tell you why he got killed. I can tell you everything about Lucifer. Absolutely phenomenal. I couldn't believe. I wasn't even researching Lucifer. And then bang, suddenly this name come up. I can't say the name because obviously there's videos coming out. A name come up and I was like, okay, name I hadn't really heard much of. I may have heard it once before or read it once before. So I thought, okay, let's look into this character. And wow, it's Lucifer, 100%. So I was like, wow, I've just solved Lucifer. Literally solved who Lucifer was. I wish I could tell you. I really do. I'm biting my tongue because it's. Imagine having, like I've done with the other videos. Imagine having something that you know that no one else knows, and you want to tell the world. But I need you to watch the whole video when it's done. It comes out December 24th. But I need you to watch the whole video so that by the time, as I do with all the other videos, by the time I name the person and explain who they are, what they did, why they were Lucifer, etc., you'll go, makes total sense. But if I just blurt out a name now, you'll look it up and you'll go, really? You need to know all the context beforehand, which is what I was lucky enough to already have that knowledge to be able to say, bang, solved. Sorry, I'm going on. I'm really excited by it, though. The thought that all these people that come out and say, Lucifer's going to come and get you. Now we can say, shut up. 100% shut up. It's been solved. He's dead. Even... I'm going to spoil a little bit here for you guys, because you guys are wonderful. Even if he didn't die, he would be dead by now. Thank you, whoever that was. I just missed that. Thank you, question. He would be dead by now. And I'm going to give you one more little spoiler just for you guys. He was a demigod, not an Anunnaki. But I mean, you could probably guess that anyway because of who his mother was, who I've already said. So yes, please hold on. It's going to be a fantastic video, and I'm so proud that I've solved it. Thank you. I know it sounds. Thank you, Sue. I know it sounds like I'm really hyping myself. I'm not. I'm just so excited. The fact that the amount of people that keep saying, "Thank you, Angel." Lucifer's going to come and get you. Lucifer stole my keys. Lucifer's this. Lucifer's that. And Luciferians, they're all a group of people worshipping a dead person. How stupid is that now? So yeah, you'll have, and next time anyone ever mentions the word Lucifer, I think I might even, after Christmas in the new year, put it out free on everywhere just to shut those stupid people up that think they know what they're talking about. Anyway, Princess wrote, I feel the same about Discord. I just don't get. Oh, thank you, Princess. Thank you, Dumsy. I hope I pronounced that right. This is D-U-M-B, and my pronunciations are crap. So thank you, Sheila. I know Sheila, but thank you, Dumsy. I think it was. Thank you. So yeah, thank you. I'm waffling on now, aren't I? Thank you, Princess. Elle's put the little angel halos above the head. Questions, right? I love the imagery. Thank you. It took me years to draw all of that. Or it took me 10 seconds on AI. I'll let you decide who done it. Sorry, it scrolled to the bottom. I'm still reading from another phone, so... trying to find where I was. I just read something that Pickle Lines wrote. I'll get to it in a sec. I use painful. Questions wrote, cool. Read that one. Okay. Questions wrote, excellent. The limiting that has been happening for many streamers. Yeah, I've just looked at the amount still. Yeah, they're not going to let me up, are they? Then they way back when I first started doing these lives, I was on like 400 and stuff like that, but now it's 30. It's very sad. Darwin's joined and wrote, hi Darwin. When you spot me in the background, Darwin, just shout, there you are. It's the Bigfoot when you see the Bigfoot. Sue wrote, you're too young, I'd make you cry. Oh, Sue. So I have been out with older ladies. When I say older than me, not old ladies, but older than me. That sounded really wrong there, didn't it? You know what I'm saying. I'm not saying... Elwood wrote, alien technology is the key that revolutionised AI and converts in living thing. Well, the Greys, the Orion Greys, seem to be an android of some description. So, incorporating AI into a flesh and blood body seems to be a thing that they do. Cotsworth wrote, what do you think about the proposed mission to the moon on 2027? I haven't heard that, but let me just mull it over for a second in my head. Who's doing it? Is it Musk, or is he going straight to Mars? I don't think they've got the technology. If we went with NASA's technology now, I don't think they've got the technology to do it. I mean, look at Elon Musk. Sometimes he's lucky if his rocket lands on a pad, and we're supposed to send a rocket to another place with different atmosphere, let it land, and then actually, not topple over or anything else, and then go back up on its own and join with an orbiter, and then no, I don't think they've got the technology at the moment at all. I don't think they had the technology back with the Apollo missions either. Probably to get into low Earth orbit, yes, but certainly not the moon. And this is just Musk going up to, again, low Earth orbit and then back down. And he's struggling to do that. And NASA's paying him to put the stuff up there, meaning NASA can't do it. So if NASA can't put the payloads in space, and they're paying Musk and Blue Origin, then NASA's got no hope of sending a spaceship to the moon and land, and it's just going to be a fake freaking thing again if they do. But I think so many people now are so much the wiser. Yeah, I mean, China's probably did send their rocket round the back of the moon, yeah. But it hasn't come, as far as I'm aware, it hasn't come back and landed. So it was just probably a what do they call it? One where they don't mind it being destroyed as long as they get the data from the travels that it did. So yeah, I mean, we're so smart now. Well, TikTok people are so smart now that they will know whether or not it's gone to, whether it actually went to the moon or not. I mean, there's people with cameras now that can literally film the moon. So the only way they would get around not being seen landing on the moon is by saying that they're going to land on the back of the moon. So I don't know whether that's what they've said, but that, if it was me and I was pretending that we're going to do another moon mission, I would say, oh, we're going to land on the far side of the moon, just so that no one with these telescopes can say, you didn't land in the Sea and Tranquility, or you didn't land in one of those places wherever they said they're going to land on the moon. Questioners wrote, where... Oh, sorry. I scrolled to the bottom. Sometimes it scrolls to the bottom, especially as I'm on a different phone. But I haven't lost anything. Where do we go to see it? I'm guessing you're on about the film that I've done. At the moment, it's only on my hard drive. Then when it gets screened, they'll be the first people to see it properly, and then it will be a screening for the cast and crew, and then it goes out to distributors, etc., as what they call a screener. So until someone picks it up, no one's going to be able to see it, unfortunately. Because obviously, as much as I'd love to just put it on, somewhere, paywall, Patreon, whatever, I can't, because obviously if a distributor sees that the film's already out, they're not going to touch it. So we have to hold on to it, I'm afraid. One of my films is on Amazon at the moment, I think, still, one of the other ones. Questions wrote, probably. And then questions wrote, yes, the laughing face was for your funnies. Thank you. I'm not sure I'm that funny. I don't deserve a laughing face. Pickle Lines wrote, you are doing good for a shy guy. Thank you very much. I used to be so shy at school. Can I tell you guys a story? This is how shy I was. There was a girl I fancied at school from afar. This was in senior school. I was still the thickest kid in the senior school, but I knew who I liked. And I could see this she was, I think, probably 2 years older than me in the school. And I'd say to my friends, "Oh, I like her," but I'd always be from a distance because, sadly, I had spots, and I was 6'3" back then, and lanky, and all that kind of stuff. So I was embarrassed. Anyway, one day, I thought she was gorgeous. One day, I was walking past the school shop. There was a shop outside the school, and she was there with her mates, and I was like, "Oh crap, I'm going to have to walk past," because I think my friends may have told her friends that I liked her. And I think I was probably, 14, 15, something like that. And anyway, I walked past her, and this was the first time I'd ever been sort of this close to her. Normally it's like, a very long distance away. And she had spots and everything. I thought, I wonder if she thought the same thing as me, that she was embarrassed. Of course, I was still too shy to say anything, but yeah, I was shy. But I think what's happened is over the years, directing films is certainly, you have to take control and be in charge and stuff like that. And then owning my own businesses, I had to be a little bit more assertive. And then having kids, where I wouldn't, when you walk around a supermarket, I used to, before I had kids, I'd like to be invisible. But once you have kids, you end up, oi, get your hands out of there, put it back. So you end up not being so shy anymore. Well, that's the way I found it. Jane has wrote, I have Discord. Jane, my God, you are a goddess. How can you cheat on me like this with Discord? I don't know how to use it. Thank you, Jane. Well, maybe one day I will try and figure out. Piccolon's right. I have Discord, but I do not use it. Yeah, I don't know how it works. But if you guys want me to, I will. Whatever you guys want, I will do. And if that means stop my stupid jokes, I will do it for you guys. Questions wrote, yes, Discord has its challenges. I'm guessing. Sorry, challenges. Yeah. I will learn it if you guys want me to. Kerry's wrote, I've been on Discord live a few times. It's like a Zoom meeting. Okay. All right. Well, that's doable, I guess. Probably won't show my face again, only because I've got this week. I'm off work this whole week, and so I will hopefully finish the 2 books, and then I've still got holiday where what my day job is, so I'll take off probably another week, finish the Bible, so before Christmas I'll be telling the world that stop making up crap and here's the real evidence and stuff. And so of course showing my face isn't the world's best idea when you're telling people that what they've thought is wrong. Pickle Lines, I have a question. Since the Norse gods is Anunnaki, what do the Valkyrie and the Valkyrie Hindor that, there's the next part, had the power to make the people fight the eternal battle? So I have done some videos. Good question. Go number 1 in the class for that. So I have done some videos, as you may have seen, on the Norse gods. So the Valkyrie, from my research, were demigod women. Dun dun dun. So these were. Thank you, History and Coins. How are you, History and Coins? I hope you're well. Yeah. So the Valkyrie are. Sorry, it scrolled to the bottom. The Valkyrie, from my research, are female demigods that would take the bodies over to South Africa. Regarding the other part, okay, I found it. Where they had the power to fight the eternal battle. Hard to say what that is. I would probably need to go back and do another deep dive into what the eternal battle is. So I haven't got an answer for you on that one, I'm afraid. But who wants to know the Anunnaki's race name, the actual proper race name? Who wants to know it? Which we translate to gods. That's where we get it. I did say I would go and study it again and remember how to pronounce it and everything. I've done that. So just write yes, tell me God's name, or the Anunnaki's race name, and I'll tell you it. Questions wrote, Discord, excellent for creating a community of like-minded people that can come together 24/7 and talk and chat and share. Well, if you guys want that, I have to keep facing the other phone. If you guys want that, I'm here for you guys. You know, if you, whatever you want, I will do within reason. You know, because I'm not going to do that again. I'll do everything that I can, but I just won't do that. Thank you, Gary. And yes, you can insert the song in right there. I will do it, and I can't sing. Don't make me sing, and do not. And I know who you are. Thank you, Sue. Do not make me do another Bigfoot impersonation. Thank you, Gary. Cotsrolls wrote, any thoughts on human auras? I guess the Anunnaki may have also had auras. I have done some periphery looking into auras. You know, there are cameras that take pictures, and we do seem to have a an energy field around us. So you could say, well, you know, there is something there. You know, when you use that camera on a you know, on a rug or something else, on a door, it doesn't show that aura. So we do know that we actually put off energy. We know that. It's not, you know, we're basically putting out energy. So the question is that energy that we're putting out something more than just, you know, like an electrical wire would put out energy, and it does. Even though you can't see it, it does still put it out. That's why you should never sleep with a plug socket at the end or power wire at the end of your bed. Do not do that. Not good for you. And of course, power lines. You know, there's actual cases of people that lived underneath power lines and still do, that end up with all sorts of issues, health issues. So we, you know, I think any biological entity that is moving and breathing is, I mean, you know, we've got FLIR cameras, we've got heat sensitive cameras, so we, you know, we're definitely putting out something, whether it's heat, energy, frequency. Now there are people that talk about the auras and say, well, if you've got a certain colour aura, that means you're, you know, this, that and the other. I don't know whether that's correct, because they don't have enough control to be able to, when I say control, you need a control to be able to say that you know, the others match that or don't match that, but we don't have a control. Thank you, whoever that was. I literally just looked away. Thank you, History and Coins. So while we do have some sort of energy field around us, is that pertaining to a spirit? Is that pertaining to chakras? Is it? It's a tricky one. I would need to do a very, very deep dive on that and look at absolutely every single mention of proper studies, not just someone with a camera. So I will put that down to do as a huge deep dive on that. Let me just find a pen and a piece of paper. Yes, I use those old things. Anyone remember what a pen and a piece of paper was? Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Look. Wow. Look at that. That's by magic. Yes. Oh, hello. Yes, I'm stupid. There you go. A free pen. Auras. I've got a list of all these deep dives that I've got to do. So I will do that, Cotswolds. And just for the ladies again, how you doing? Yeah, I'll shut up now. Pickle Lines wrote, have had the power to make people fight the eternal. That was continuing on from earlier. Questions wrote, thank you, History and Coins. Did you like the pen? I'll send you one. Questions wrote, when I say like-minded, I mean everyone. Yeah. Angels wrote, good morning from Oregon. I know how to pronounce that because I watch a lot of movies in the USA. Thank you very much, Angel. What a lovely name, Angel Honey. Sparrow Webb has wrote, greetings, glad to be here. How is everyone doing? Wow, we've broke the 30 mark. We're up to 59 and 62. Oh, TikTok's going to be upset with us. It's, you know why? It's the pen, isn't it? Everyone's joined because of the pen. He's going to get his own show in a minute. Angels wrote, "Screw Lucifer." Yeah, he's dead now, but yeah, you will absolutely love the amazing documents. Thank you, Pickle Line. I think that was Pickle Line I just saw. Yeah, it was. Thank you. Angels wrote, "Fear the Destroyer." Well, technically, there's three destroyers. You've got Nurgle, you've got Ninurta, and then you've got what people call the planet Nibiru as the destroyer. Thank you again, Pickle Line. So, yeah, they're the three main destroyers that were sort of mentioned. Sewers wrote, "Oh, you are a tease." Is it the pen? Sorry, 1 sec. I've just got to get a cat off my desk. Oh, there's a cat. See that? This is live. The giant cat in front of the screen. You've eaten. I've already fed you before I did this live, so that you wouldn't. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. You have now seen a. Sorry, there was something happened there on the screen. There we go. So yes, I'm not a tease. If you're lucky, I'll show you a finger. Angels wrote, "Love is the creator." I'm guessing you're not talking about me, the creator of this TikTok live. I'm guessing you're saying it's the creator of everything. Well, funny enough, that new video that's about to drop, called Everything That's Happened, shows you who I believe the creator was. So it's a very good video. Alex has wrote, "I had someone tell me he was sending the Watchers to get me." How's that working out for you? It's not going to happen, is it? You know it's not. Yeah, no, it's not going to happen. The Watchers, just for those that's interested to know, the Watchers were the Igigi. That's been proven 100%. Go watch my documentary called Watchers Solved. I think it's called Fallen Angels / Watchers Solved. And that shows you that the 200 of the 300 Igigi came down and stole human women. Thank you, whoever's doing the hearts. Ramon has wrote Ascents. Not sure what that's referring to. I'm slightly behind. Sorry, Ramon. Sheila's wrote, "Happy Saturday." Oh, well, thank you very much, Sheila. Very nice of you. Happy Saturday back to you. Questions wrote, "That's freaking funny." I don't know what that was referring to. And thank you whoever's just did that. I think it was Piggle Line. Thank you, Piggle Line. You don't have to. I prefer cash. I'm joking. I'm joking. Gold. I'm joking. Thank you. No, that's lovely. Thank you very much. You know I joke about these things. But yeah, thank you. Oh, you stop now. You're embarrassing me. Thank you very much. Oh, you can stop now. That's lovely. Thank you. Just make the tea. That's all I asked in the morning. I'm joking. I'm not sure. Question what was freaking funny, but hopefully it was something funny I had said. This is why I only do one show a night, ladies and gentlemen. The world's best researcher is a stupid comedian. And probably a liar if you think that I'm not the world's greatest researcher. Darwin's wrote, "Eisenhower agreement to so many abductees have been exceeded. Do some abductees never return?" It's a brilliant question. Got number 2 in the class for that. So if you go by the treaty that supposedly happened with Eisenhower, they were told that the humans were told that the aliens would abduct and do experiments on a certain number of people, and those people would be the details of those people would be passed to the military. So sorry, it scrolled to the bottom. I hate when it does that. It throws me off. People want to know the god's name, I'm guessing. The Anunnaki's race name. I'll get to that in a sec. Let me just... So you're going to find out, ladies and gentlemen, what the Anunnaki's actual race name was and why we translate it to gods. Which is where the Anunnaki were in the Bible. So just bear with me. Okay, I'm back to where I was. So what happens, supposedly, according to a whistleblower, long story, he was genetically modified while he was in his mother's womb because his father worked for the military and allowed his unborn child to be injected with something through the navel. And as he grew up, this child was led into the path of military so that he would eventually be able to work for the military in the secret department, where they would track abductees using his telepathy, using his mind, so that whatever they'd done to the child, the idea is that as he grows up, he could be one of these people, along with others, that can actually, if we have no communications whatsoever, thank you, Phil, I think that was, if we have no communications, the military can still talk to each other around the world. So he wasn't very good at it. He explains the whole thing. He's on Coast to Coast if you want to go and try and hunt down his... his story sounds very believable. You know me, I pick up on where people make mistakes. Thank you, Sue. I'm quite good at that, and he didn't say anything out of the ordinary. So anyway, he wasn't very good. So they had computer screens, and they would try and make the cursor move and all that kind of stuff. He wasn't very good at it, but the idea was that the other people and other teams before him even would track what the UFOs were doing, or the aliens were doing, with people that they abducted, because they knew, the military knew, that they weren't getting all of the information from the aliens on who they abducted. That's partly why we end up with the Men in Black, another story. But so according to whistleblowers, the aliens were abducting far more people than they said they would do in the treaty. Now the question is, do they bring people back? So from my understanding is yes, they bring them all back. From my understanding, there's no reason for them to want slaves. They've got far better technology than it's us that has the slaves on Mars and stuff, and on the moon we actually have the slaves. Our own humans are slaves. So I'll give you one example. There was a guy that was found on a coalfield in Wales back in, I think, the late 70s. And his body, he had no soot from the coal. So there's a massive pile of coal. The guy was dropped from height, and he had these sucker marks on him, and they did all sorts of tests on him and stuff, and they couldn't quite figure out why he died. So he didn't climb this mountain of coal, but he died. So, and long story short, the conclusion was that something happened to him where someone was experimenting on him, and he died probably because of a heart attack, and so they dumped him back down to Earth. So personally, I don't think those aliens, the ones that do the abductions that's not to say there's not other aliens that do it, but certainly humans, the stories that I've heard, it's the military that are taking people and using them, and the aliens actually don't like that. They've actually, according to whistleblowers, they've actually said, stop abusing your people, which is really nice to hear, but it doesn't help the people that's being abused and taken. So the people that do go missing are more than likely people that the military were interested in. If you look at Missing 411, David Pilates, you'll find that there's certain groups of people with their certain skills, such as German scientists, etc., that seem to go missing. So I don't think it's the aliens abducting them and making them go missing. I think it's us, the military. I don't think the aliens need us to talk German to them. But if you've already got Nazis up on the moon and they speak German, then it kind of makes sense to take up people fresh blood by abducting them. Questions, right? They are trying. Thank you, Jazz. They are trying to keep the knowledge out. Absolutely. Angels wrote, "You can tell who's young here by the question they ask." Mikey's wrote, I'm not going to answer that one. Mikey's wrote, "Good evening, Alger History. Good choice of background." Thank you. It's something that I'd made myself. These are all thumbnails and videos that I've used in some of my documentaries and stuff. So I've just put them all together and just stuck them up there. And I did it so that we can read the bottom part as well. So yeah. Kerry's wrote, "We're not old, we're mature." Angels wrote, "Exactly, Kerry." JMAs wrote, "Do you believe in fallen angels?" Yeah, they were the Ijiji, 100%. So the Ijiji were the sons of the Anunnaki, which when you realise what their race name is, you realise they were called gods. And so there are 200 of them. So there's texts that have been translated by the Moorhens. I've got about 60% of what they've said on other languages, Babylonian or even the same language but a different text from a different angle, from a different perspective, ancient text. I've got about 60%. I found the tablets. There's 5 tablets. I found them just yesterday. I found them, which are the ones that talk about the weapons of terror. So that's another tick for the Moorhens. But these 5 tablets, which are not the ones that the Moorhens translated, but these 5 tablets are Babylonian, whereas the ones that the Rothschilds owned, the Moorhens translated, were Sumerian. So another solidify. So there's only a handful of things left. One is Marduk going into the Great Pyramid. So hopefully I'll find one day that talks about that. Obviously the Book of Enoch talks about the fallen angels, and so does the Moorhens translations. The Moorhen translations go into it far more detail. They even name who some of those leaders are of the fallen angels. Now some people think that it's one of those is Lucifer. Absolutely not, because I've now worked out who Lucifer was. So yes, absolutely fantastic. So yes, the fallen angels were just the younger Anunnaki that were on Mars. They call it Lachmu, and they came down and stole human women because they were on Mars for a long time and there was no women, and down here on Earth the humans were being used by the Anunnaki here on Earth. And so the Ijiji thought, well, hang on a minute, if they're doing it, let's go down and take some. And that's what they did. Question as wrote, Starship is one of his many toys. I'm not sure what that's referring to, but that sounds painful. It's a bad joke. Question as wrote, heck, if I had the money, I'd play with rockets for fun too. I'm guessing Elon Musk. Yeah, probably. Yeah. JME has wrote, do you believe they are here with us? Yeah, the Anunnaki didn't leave. It's only been 3 months their time since King Solomon. Marduk's on the dollar bill. There's no point in them leaving. Marduk would have been nobody on his home planet, blah blah blah. So yes, they're still here with us, and there's no way they're going to leave us for 1 year of their time so we can advance 3,600 years technologically. They'd be stupid if they left us alone, which they obviously won't do. So Kerry's wrote, sir, how did you get the video of me in my mermaid costume? There's me now, but I don't know Kerry. I was scrolling through my videos and I thought, oh, there's Kerry, let's put her up. You did look good in your mermaid costume, Kerry. I'm starting to wonder whether you are actually a mermaid. Cotswolds wrote, supposed to be NASA, and maybe this is to do with the landing on the moon, and maybe as early as next year, called Artemis 2. I'm guessing that is, because they already had an Artemis, I think, announced this week. Yeah, I mean, just look at the logic, as I pointed out. You know, Musk can't even, sometimes get the craft back in one piece here, and there NASA's using Musk to go up into space, and NASA hasn't actually created a decent spacecraft. Well, let's be honest, they haven't really done one at all that could get to the moon. So, yeah, baloney, in my opinion. Questions are fantastic. Look forward to the success of your film. Thank you very much. It's a good film. Just hope everyone enjoys it. It's I don't care. When I do a movie, I don't care what Joe Public think. I care more on the screening days that we do for the movies, for the cast and crew. They're the ones I want for them to say, wow, brilliant, enjoyed it, great, amazing. Anyone else, even distributors, I don't care if we lose money. It's those people, because they put the effort in, they put the work in. So yeah. Question has wrote, join Discord. Okay. Number 2, bullying has wrote, no to bullying. I keep NO as being small. Sorry, my bad. No, please keep your humour. Thank you very much. I will try my best. Questions wrote, no need to show your face. I understand not wanting to be on camera myself. There I am right now in the background. It's just a couple of people have seen my face, outside of TikTok, but my mum saw my face once, but no, God, I get worse, don't I? But yeah, no, it just makes sense, because obviously I do other things, and I know what people are like, so I'd rather show the evidence than my face. I mean, look at that woman and that bloke that I've been doing TikToks debunking them. I mean, talk about makeup crap, and they just stand there and talk as if, and I read their comments where people were saying, oh, this is really interesting. I'm like, oh, for crying out loud, you just fell for it because someone shows their face. Apostles wrote, I'm intrigued what you look like though. 6'3", average build, go back 20-30 years, and I was muscly, but not so much now. I do have a wee belly, I'll be honest with you, because the jobs for the last 5 years I've been sitting down. Majority of the job I do work is sitting down, and then I come home and work on the computer doing research, so my belly is not as toned as it once was when I used to do karate and weightlifting, but the rest of me is in proportion, so I've not got extra large fingers because I'm 600 pounds, and I'll show you that right now, ladies and gentlemen. There they are, normal hands. Look, and for my next magic trick I'll make them disappear. Ready? And now my hand's gone. See that? So I can do magic tricks. But what do I look like? It's hard for me to describe. I've got blue eyes, auburn hair, some people say I'm handsome. My friends will say I'm not. So, I guess it's subjective. Pickle lines, but I'm not the elephant man. I'm more like Piggle Man. Not Piggle Line, but Pig Man instead of elephant. But it was a bad joke. Fell flat on its face. Move on. Piggle Line, who is no relation to me because of my pig face. No, I don't have a pig face. Yes, number 1 in the class. Just took me over a year. Oh, well done. I didn't know. I don't keep score, but clearly you do, Piggle Line. There you go. Now, if we can get... No, that's brilliant. If we can get you to 1, 2 and 3 and a star, then you're up there with the best. History and Coins wrote, hi God, I'm very tired, just popping in. Oh, bless you. Bless you. I hope you're not in pain or anything. Sometimes I wish we had a magic wand to sort things out. But questions wrote, I'd like to know. Okay, so the name for the gods, the Anunnaki's race name. Ready? Here we go. The Anunnaki's real race name. When I say real race name, the Anunnaki was a name that was given to them as a team name for the elder ones, and Ijiji was the younger Anunnaki. The race name is called... Their race is called, which translates into... I know I'm building it up. Their race name that translates into gods, which is why we see them in the Bible. Ready? I don't want to spoil this for you guys, so I'm going to just give it a second. Dingir. 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 That is their race name that translates into gods. Dingir. So you now know what the Anunnaki is called on their home planet. Dingir. Which when we translate it, we write gods. We don't generally write Dingir, but you can go back and read it as Dingir if you want, but obviously the translators translate it as gods, and that's why we end up with your gods in the Bible. Dingir, ladies and gentlemen. And anyone in between. Yeah. Imagine the old royal variety programs back in the olden days, in the 70s. You remember they used to have on a Saturday night, I don't know if you guys had them around the world, but we had these royal variety programs where people would, comedians, and a bit like Britain's Got Talent or America's Got Talent, but it was and imagine when they come on and ladies and gentlemen, and now they're actually imagine in the 70s saying ladies and gentlemen and anyone in between. Yeah, I don't think that would have went down too well. So there you go, Dingir. So try and remember that, because it's that's what it is. I've treated you today, you lucky lot. History is wrote, I can organise Discord God. Thank you, me too. Okay, well, if people want the Discord, do randoms, there's Kerry again, do randoms come across Discord, or is it only when by telling people to go to Discord? I don't quite know how it works. History saying let her know, and no words till thank you, History. Will do. Andy's wrote greeting our true history and all. Greetings, Andy. Davies wrote Sararik, and then Sue's wrote Killin. I'm guessing these are names you thought that might be the Anunnaki's race name. And then Sue's wrote Kill. I'm guessing that's not one of the Anunnakis that you thought was Anunnakis. And then you wrote Curlian. No, that's not the race name. And then Sue's wrote Bloody Phone. I'm guessing it kept changing it for you. Nicole's wrote, thank you, Nicole. Questions wrote, the good old pen. Yes, it's a looks like a cheap version of a Bic. Jane has wrote, Killian Photographies captures the electrical corona. Ah, right, okay, yes. Thank you. Gold star for Jane for telling me something I didn't know the name of. Well done, Jane. That's why you're a goddess. History and Coins wrote, okay, mods, I'm going back to rest. I'll chat. Thank you very much, History and Coins, for jumping in. Chantel's put laugh out loud. Question has wrote, whoops, audio cut out for a sec. Andy's wrote, Indupsa, and others say fiery chariots. What do you think Anunnaki use as fuel? Personally, it's tricky because obviously we know what they used to get here from their planet, but what they used here for the local transport backwards and forwards to outer space or to the orbit, I couldn't tell you, but I would say the larger craft, what they called the barges, would be water and crystal. And I have done a live chat I say live chat, a chat with ChatGDP, one of those chats that I do on crystals, because I wanted to know what crystals we've got here on Earth, whether or not crystals can be joined, whether we can create our own crystals, and whether or not we can get anything close to, for example, what Star Trek had as the lithium crystal. Or because obviously the Anunnaki talk about crystals a couple of times. They talk about one when they use the crystal in the on their barge to get here. One when they talk about sorry, there's a thing popping up there. Folder with all my bits and pieces. Didn't see that coming, did we? Marky, thank you, Marky. Yeah, so the crystals, and they also talk about them inside the pyramid, and also the crown and scepters have crystals. They don't have crystals for no reason. They have crystals for a reason. So I did look into crystals, but I don't want to spoil it because it's not out yet. So that's a very interesting live chat that I did. But regarding their chariots, obviously fire comes out the back of them, otherwise they wouldn't be called chariots of fire. So clearly they had a combustion as opposed to anti-gravity. There's me again on screen. And but what they used for the combustion, was it still crystals and water, or was it something different here just for the craft that goes backwards and forwards to orbit? Don't know. It's a good question, Andy, but I don't know. Go number 3 in the class for that. Cotswolds wrote, got to go in a minute and hope you post this live for catch up. Oh, thank you. I will do then. Thank you. If I haven't, just remind me to do it. Questions wrote gold. I'm guessing that's saying did they use gold for power. I don't know if that's what that's referring to. Sewers wrote, it also captures orange discovered by something, some time. So it cut off there. So Seward wrote, it also captures orange discovered by Sion Curley in the 1930s. When you say orange, I don't know what that means. I haven't done a huge deep dive, so that's something that's intrigued me now. So thank you, Sue. I will look that up. I think I've already given you a gold star. You're not getting 2 today, Sue. Stop trying to get 2. No, thank you, Sue. Bless. Chantel's wrote, it was the cat. Yeah, the cat stole the show. Pickle Lines wrote, you are the one making the tea. Thank you very much, Pickle Line. As long as you bring the biscuits. Sewers wrote, that was what I read. Phil was put tap. Oh, thank you, Phil. TikTok limits me to 50, so no matter what we do, we're going to be stuck with 50. Because I is tell the truth, I is. James wrote 6 p.m. time check. Thank you, Jane. Goddess Jane. That helps. No Nose wrote, what's the topic? So technically I haven't actually put a topic in the background because now there's moving images, but paranormal, ancient aliens, modern aliens, Bigfoots, crystal skulls, crop circles, men in white white hair and white beards, Flight of the Navigator in the background. No, it's not Flight of the Navigator. Anyone remember Flight of the Navigator, or am I showing my age now? Jazz has wrote, hi Andrew History, how you doing? Hope you are well and good. Yeah, not too bad, thank you. There's the subjects in the background now. Paranormal aliens, gods, ancient aliens, spirits, and so much more. All yours for the small price of just listening to me. No Noah's wrote, but are the aliens one race? Oh, you mean are the Anunnaki one race? Absolutely. And I say absolutely because there is no mention whatsoever, even though silly researchers say they're multiple races. We've got tens of thousands of carvings of them. They all look exactly the same. Now you could say, well, they're a different race but look the same. You know, you could say that. You could say, well, some have got red hair and some have got white hair. But when we're talking different races, we're talking about from another planet, which is what these bad researchers are referring to. No. Not one bit of evidence that the Anunnaki come from another planet. They even tell us where they come from. They tell us that there's a planet that came from outside the void, which is the gap between our solar system and whatever solar system they come from. And their planet travelled across the void, which would have took about 70 years of their time compared to, I can't remember what it worked out to be our time, hundreds of thousands of years or something, going at the speed of a comet. So yes, one race. No Nose wrote, do the aliens have multiple races like we do? They have different hair colour. They seem to be all pale skin, and I say pale, not dark, but pale as in silvery, like the moonlight, for example, or white. They may have, some of them may have red eyes. I found that out yesterday. I had heard it before, but I didn't have evidence before. I'd heard it, but now I've got evidence that I don't want to spoil it because it's a video that's coming out, and I don't want to spoil the surprise for who Lucifer was, and you can see why people would think Lucifer. If they knew his real name, they would. Anyway, I can't spoil it. Don't want to spoil it. But no, as far as I'm aware, now the only thing I could say about different races is they did talk about four-legged kind of themselves on their home planet looking after the animals. Now, I haven't seen the actual translation, so we know the translators sometimes get things wrong. So I would like to see the original tablet for that, so I could... I haven't come across where that is, so someone's already translated it. Because I've pointed out where they've got things wrong by translations in the past, such as the word clay. So if, let's assume that they did have four-legged type of their species on their home planet, such as a centaur, then we also have them as mermaids here on Earth in the carvings. So you could say, well, again, that is, and they were Anunnaki, they weren't humans. So you could say, well, you know, there's two different species right there. So you could argue that they have two different species based off of those, but again, not from another planet. These are still the same characters, still the same Anunnaki. Now, you know, we have carvings of Enki as almost like a chimera. We've got huge carvings. In fact, there's two of them in the British Museum in the entrance to the Sumerian section or the Middle East section. So, you know, was that one particularly symbolic, or was there another? Was he doing that because he managed to create the, you know, hybrids that have long since gone, that probably couldn't breed and carry on? So it's a tricky one to say 100% whether those races, such as the four-legged one and the fish, or the mermaids, were real. So because we don't have 100% evidence that they were Anunnaki, there is Japan had a mermaid. They've actually got 200 years ago there was a mermaid that washed up, and it's now just skeleton bones. But if you look into it, or read my book on mermaids or whatever, or watch my documentary on mermaids, you'll see. Now, mainstream say, oh, that was fake, but they won't tell you how it's fake. Oh, it's fake, move on, nothing to see here. And when you know that they can't pinpoint why it's fake, you know it's probably true. So there probably was a mermaid back then. And again, you know, the Anunnaki were tinkering with genetics. We know that, you know, because we're here. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the Anunnaki. So clearly they were doing genetics. But from other planets, no. Lewis has wrote, let's say thank you to the greatest researcher. And Billy Carson, come on. Thank you, Lewis. Bless. Darwin has wrote, show us your pen again. Well, look, I'm going to do one better for you. I'm going to show you the bottom of the pen now. Look at that. Look. See? Look, and look. It can do happy faces. Woo! Dinosaurs got it. Quick, run. Sorry. Yeah, you can see why I didn't learn anything at school. You'd think I was the school joker, wouldn't you? But no, I was quiet and shy and just sat there and pondered the universe. Darwin's right. Please talk about the slaves on the moon. So, from what I've heard, there's humans. As I mentioned before, the aliens, according to whistleblowers, have told the military that they need to treat the people better and even pay them. Or well, they didn't say pay them. They said what's that word? You know, where compensate them basically. But I have also heard stories of military whistleblowers saying military take human food and human clothes, and they have a meeting with a race that may be the reptilians, where they exchange the human clothes, for tech from the possibly reptilians. In other words, they've got human people on their planet or whatever, on their spaceship, whatever they've got, and so in order for the humans to carry on whatever it is they're doing, they'll need clothes and they'll need food. So that's a scary thought, isn't it? To think that there's poor humans out there that's being abused, not only by the military but by another alien race, and they're coming to get the clothes and the food from Earth, and we're allowing that to happen. Obviously, we may not have no choice, because obviously, you know, if you've got an alien race that's far superior, then you can't, you know, you probably won't be able to say to them, look, please give our people back. And, you know, how long has it been going on for? You know, were those people now descendants of the people they stole? So in other words, it could be generations of people that's been up there wherever they are, on another planet, etc. So, and I've also heard the same goes for the moon, inside the moon. So they've been mining the moon as well. I did hear one story that there was a blue race on the moon, Mars. I did hear a story there was a blue race on Mars, but I think that was crap. And they just allowed the humans and other aliens to mine their own planet, but I think that was just a made up crap. But yeah, definitely, you know, from the whistleblowers are credible whistleblowers. So for them to make up stuff, you know, I know who these whistleblowers are and the stuff they've said before, you know, and they've been checked out by Linda Moulton Howe, and you know, she does a good job on checking the credentials of whistleblowers. So yeah, I do think that's true. And it makes sense. You know, we use cattle as slaves. I mean, we don't call them slaves, but yeah, we use cattle as slaves. I mean, I remember going to Tunisia, and you know, there's donkeys that are freaking so full up with stuff it's breaking the donkey's back. You know, you can't say, oh, it's their pet. It's not. It's they're using them and abusing them. So, you know, why wouldn't a more intelligent race than us, more superior race than us, do the same to us? We do it to animals. Why wouldn't they do it to us? So I have no doubt that humans are, you know, out there in the big wide universe being abused because they can. Pickle Line's right. What happened to Mars? So Mars did have life on it, according to NASA, and according to the Anunnaki, there was. And I did find the bit that I was after about 50 heroes again. There's two parts. This is why I had it right first time when I said I think that there was horses on Mars, and then I think Andy said, "Oh, couldn't it be just the Ajiji?" So I looked at it again, and I only found the one passage where it talked about the 50 heroes, and I goes, yeah, it could be, but there was another passage that I'd read somewhere else, and finally I came across it again, which, like an idiot, sometimes I'm listening to translations while I'm driving, so it's hard for me to remember to, when I get to work, to write down where I saw it or what translation it was from. But there was another translation which really does say that they basically had creatures. It was creatures, Lakmu creatures. So there was definitely animals on Mars, and my assumption is that they were horses, not the ones we've got now. And again, also if you go back 200,000 years ago, suddenly the genome changed, and this isn't me making this up, this is mainstream saying it, the genome changed of horses. And of course they got the slit eyes, the same as the goats that the Anunnaki told us they brought down, the same as octopuses, which 60 different high-ranking scientists say are not from Earth, and so blah blah blah. So yes, Mars definitely had an atmosphere. Now, Mars's atmosphere probably got destroyed by Nibiru, because you've got to remember 10,000 BC, give or take, when Nibiru came round and Earth was close, it created the ice shelf breaking off, which created the Great Flood. So if that did that, and that was only when we was near, Mars is nearer to Nibiru, because obviously it's Mars is in between Earth and Nibiru. So for 4.5 billion years, when Nibiru kept coming round, life, it would have sucked the atmosphere totally off of Mars and destroyed it. So that makes sense to me, because if Mars can affect Earth, which apparently it does, affects our oceans, Mars, I know, that far away, Mars apparently affects us, then why can't Nibiru affect Mars when Nibiru is 4 to 10 times the size of Mars, or probably bigger, because Mars is slightly smaller than us. So it makes a lot of sense. Now, of course, they did talk about water on Mars. The Anunnaki talked about water on Mars because they refueled on there. And Alula stayed on Mars. Now, bear in mind, Mars' time is not too dissimilar from Earth's in terms of 24 hours, as opposed to the Anunnaki's time frame. So Alula stayed on Mars, or his son did. Alula and his son, or grandson, should I say, Anzu, stayed on Mars. Anzu stayed there for at least 3,000 years of our time, and that's not too dissimilar for Mars either. So what the hell did he eat on Mars for 3,000 of our years? Now you could say, well, it was only 1 year for him, but it still needed food, and did they really drop off a year's worth of non-perishable foods for him? Probably not. So there was water. We're talking at this point. We're talking what date would that be? Sorry, I'm just trying to work out what date that would be. We're talking probably 300,000 years ago, so give or take. So there was definitely life and water on there from my research, and so I think Nibiru destroyed it. Of course, then you had the texts that talk about the after the Ajiji came down, the Watchers came down and stole human women. After all of that, they couldn't go back because there was a storm on Mars that literally covered everything, which is why we see these tunnels that we think are subterranean. You can actually see them. Look up tunnels on Mars and you'll see them. They look subterranean, but they're not. They would have been above the ground, but covered over by that huge dust storm that's mentioned in those texts. So everything makes sense as to why Nibiru's Mars has lost its atmosphere and stuff like that. No Nose wrote, when he mentioned the aliens, said stop abusing your people, that made me think about alien races. No Nose wrote, is this a recording where the host is reading comments? This is live. I read every single comment out, which is why I'm sitting here for hours. TikTok limits me, so we're pretty much stuck at 50. Jazz wrote, was it possible the 10 someone's unpinned it? I'm guessing that's because I haven't got to it. I will get to it, Jazz. You don't have to pin a question if you don't mind, unless it was to do with something I was just talking about. That looks like just a question. I will get to it. There's only 57 messages left, so I'm not that far behind, and most of those sometimes people chat to each other. So if you could just, unless it was to do with something that we was talking about, if you could just hold on. Pickles like Lines wrote, I can tell Jazzers wrote, no, you missed it. Did I miss something? I apologise if I did. Yes, I did miss something. I apologise. Thank you, Jazz. Well done, yes. I apologise for that. Jazzers wrote, was it possible the 10 plagues of Egypt were aimed at the pharaoh deities? No. So if you watch my documentary on, I think it's called Who Moses Was, I think it is. I may have to do a whole one called the 10 plagues of Egypt. But basically, the Atrahasis tells us about these disasters that befit humans from Enlil. Now, Enlil at that time was over near Israel. So the same problems that Enlil caused, such as drought, etc., the aftermath, where he blocked off waterways, the crickets, the locusts, the frogs and everything would have went towards Egypt, towards the Nile. So it was the aftermath of what Enlil had done, absolutely including, if you read the Atrahasis, he even set a virus off, which, if you know the 10 plagues of Egypt, there's one where they end up with boils. So spot on. I can't believe people didn't work that one out. Why is it always me? But anyway, sorry, it's just a bit of self-praise there. But yeah, so basically, Enki kept sending over Atrahasis, which means extremely wise, which would have been Moses, over to Egypt to try and sort out the people. Long story, but yeah, so basically it was the after effects were Egypt, nothing to do with Egypt, absolutely nothing to do with Egypt whatsoever, but it was the after effects, because the people that died because of Enlil over near Israel, I say near Israel, it depends on the whole size of the area, it doesn't say, and back then it probably wasn't even Israel. So yeah, it's literally tells us what he does, and it matches the 10 plagues, which would have been the aftermath of the things that was done over by Enlil. So nothing to do with pharaohs at all. It's just obviously those people near Enlil died. That was a whole part of it, including killing the firstborn. Pickle Lines wrote, eating them, to be honest with you, but that's another. I'll save that for another day. Pickle Lines wrote, what happened to Mars? Read that. So yes, I did apologise. I did miss your comment. Pickles Lines wrote, I can tell what you look like after you made my morning tea. Do I have to brush my hair after? Thank you. Thank you, Pickle Line. No to Bullions wrote, dad body then. I am 54. So yeah, I mean, I've done my part. I did my weights and karate and all that, cycling 12 miles every single day, including Saturdays and Sundays. I've done my fit part. I was very fit, very, very fit, but now once you have kids, and it does change. Clarissa's wrote, artist's hands. Thank you. I wish they were. I am. Oh, bless. I wish I could say yes, but if you see the things that I create, they're not very good. I mean, I created a dinosaur out of clay, which kind of looks more like a blob. But no, my hands are not that great at that kind of stuff. No comment. But no. So thank you, Nicole. My brain is better than my hands are. I can seduce you with my brain. Sorry, bad joke. Unless you think it's real, in which case, sorry, it scrolled to the bottom. I hate it when that does that. Okay, just finding where I was. Sewers wrote, they're long artistic fingers. They are long fingers. I have been told. This is going into the gutter, isn't it? I have been told they're long fingers. They are long fingers. What long fingers you have. All the better for something or other. Josh has wrote difference between aliens and ancient aliens. It's a good question, actually. A very good question. Go number 2 in the class for that. So, ancient aliens are the gods that's in the Bible that created us. So one race, they're still in charge of the planet, but they let us inherit the planet. And that's the ancient aliens. The modern aliens are the greys, the reptilian type, the praying mantis, the zetas, the Pleiadians, if you believe in them, the Nordics, that kind of more modern aliens, which are the ones we see now and talk about, etc. But the ancient aliens were the Anunnaki. Their race name was Dingir, which translates into gods, which is why you have all the Bibles and all the ancient texts, what's translated, talk about gods. They weren't gods. I mean, they were gods. There is no other gods because that's their race name, but that's what they were, gods. That's what it translates into. And that's not translated into gods because there was already an almighty being. Absolutely not. That's it. They were the almighty being. Even though they weren't almighty being, they're the ones that we think are almighty. Chantel's wrote, do you play guitar? How do I say this? So years ago I used to have a guitar, couple, acoustic and electric. Didn't play them, couldn't really play them. I now work to do with guitars, still can't play them. So yes, I can't play guitar. I'm not very. What seems to happen is when I think, my body stops. So I can't. Literally, just. I'm surprised I don't crash when I'm thinking driving. So yeah, my hand. That's why I think the school also thought that I was, probably completely backwards, because my hand-eye coordination. Every time they asked me to sort of put one of those square blocks into the round hole, I used to probably poke my eye out with the with the block instead of putting in the hole. No, I'm not that bad, but no, I'm not. My brain is the only thing that's works at the moment. Clarissa's wrote, that's the Russian word for money. What dingy is it? Oh, okay, I didn't know that. Thank you. That's a gold star for Clarisse. Interesting. Me Too's wrote, good evening. Hi, Me Too. Nice of you to join. Questions wrote, thank you. No worries at all. The name I can never pronounce has wrote, hi, True History. Which Anunnaki is Viracocha? I have done. Let me just see. Have I released it? I have to be careful because I've got videos that are coming out. Let me just have a look. And I don't want to spoil it because obviously if I just blurt out stuff. So the videos that are due to drop are Sumerian's King's List. So you'll finally figure out why they lived so long and which areas they were in. I think I might have to make a chart on that for people to understand as well. Third chapter of our book called Stonehenge is due to release. Space Force, chapter 12 of my book as well, third book. So a couple of chapters from my previous book are coming out. What else? Alien abductions. Yeah, that's one of the, as it says there in the description, almost one of the first subjects I ever started looking into, and yet I haven't done not that I need to do a deep dive on it, but I haven't actually done a long documentary on it. So I need to go through all of that, with the fact that how people get picked up, how they get taken through the roof, and all that kind of stuff. Project Blue Book, that was a chat with Julie. That was one of those AI chats. Voices in My Head, chat with Julie. That's a good one. Black Eyed Children documentary. So if anyone knows what the Black Eyed Children are, it's a documentary on that. The Shroud of Turin, which is chapter 11 of my book. So good stuff coming, as well as the thousands of other documentaries. Nimrod, I finally did a chat with Julie and narrowed it right down to who he was. I was booted off. I was just booted off. Community guidelines. I was just booted off again off my other phone. I don't know if you guys can still hear me. Community guidelines update. We're updating our community guidelines. I don't care. And it's in French. I've just clicked something. Wow, so I can't actually see. They booted me off. That's why because we were getting higher than 50. They booted me off. I've got another phone that I was using to. Wow. So this is what they do to people. Because we got too high. Now I've got to try and figure. No wonder why people don't come back. I've got to try and figure out how to find me. How to find my live again. Yeah, look, back down to 50. They boot you off. So I may have missed some questions. No, I don't think so. Yeah, can you believe that? The buggers, they booted me off on my other phone. Which means they do the same to you guys. Yeah, oh, sorry, Viracocha, I was getting there. Sorry. So Nimrod, Mediums and Spirits coming out. The Real Reason for Jesus' Birth. That's a documentary. You're going to love that one. I mean, who wants to know why Jesus was created? I would have thought most people do. Domestication of animals, carbon dating, Galapagos Islands. All these are really interesting. Especially when I know it sounds big-headed, but when I ask the questions, I don't take the first thing that I'm told. And as you probably realise when you listen to these live chats that I do with AI, you realise that AI does lie. Mummies and Tombs. There we are. That is the video, so it's not out yet. So I can't tell you who Viracocha is because there's a video called. It's a long one. It's like 3 hour. Let me read it. Mummies and Tombs. It's called. Solved. I had an angle that I wanted to test to see if my thoughts were close. I didn't want Julie, which I call Julie AI, to know, and that's why I wanted to prove me right. This is a big one, guys. It follows perfectly on from my video documentary on Anunnaki in the Americas. I believe I've solved who first started making the mummies. So, going back to Viracocha, if you watch the American video, you'll know who he was. And then when you watch the Mummies and Tombs, it's blinding. Sorry, what's happening here? Sorry, it's trying to scroll back to where I was. I think it scrolled to the bottom. Sorry guys, it won't be too long. There we are, found it. Yeah, so watch my, if you haven't seen it, watch my Anunnaki in America's documentary. There's the first half is actually on TikTok, so you can scroll back and see it, and you'll see how deep I go. I mean, I no stone left unturned. So I can't spoil it because all of the videos that I've been doing recently are all narrowing it down to, you know, everything is pretty much getting solved, so it's great. Questioners wrote, Discord requires registration and invites. Okay, so yeah, that's the downside, because obviously randoms can't suddenly find it and join in like they would if TikTok wasn't limiting me. Nicole's wrote, do you think Anunnaki are limiting our advancement in technology in a sense to protect themselves? Someone asked that the other day, so unfortunately it's a good question, but I can't put you in the class because someone asked that just, I think, on the last chat. My answer then was it makes sense if they did. I mean, they'd be stupid if they just allowed us to have free reign. So the answer is really, I would imagine so. Darwin's wrote, just how close is Scientology to proper religion? I hope that makes sense. So I have done, I don't know if you watched my video called Scientology, I think it was, just called that. Basically, I go through the whole of it, including, you know, the Battlefield Earth book, and I go through his Xenon and all that baloney. Complete and utter baloney. I mean, the guy used to write stories, science fiction stories. So he did absolute baloney. But what he did do over time is I think he worked out, you know, I mean, by then people were already talking about Anunnaki. I mean, you got to remember, Sitchin's books started, I think, 1976, something like that. So I think over time, he may have caught on about an alien race that may have been here, tall, mined for gold. So then he wrote the Battlefield Earth book, which is really talking about the Anunnaki, but not his Scientology. That's talking about a whole load of baloney about xenons and whatever else. So yeah, so the closest he got was actually his book, which turned into a movie with John Travolta. So that's the closest he's actually got to actually anything correct. The rest of it is just completely and utterly just made up stuff that contradicts itself over and over. Especially when you look back at his earlier stuff on how he tried to solve, you know. So basically, he used to have these tiers where he would say, oh, you know, if you join me, you'll get enlightened, blah, 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 all that crap. And people were completing the tiers. And then he had to add more on because he wanted to get more money from these people. So he had to add more tiers and said, oh, well, you know, the end part that I just told you happened. Well, there was a bit more to it. And if you pay this, I'll explain a bit more to you. And so he had all these levels that he ended up making. So that, and there's one, I think, you like literally have to basically be, you know, Tom Cruise millions to pay to learn the secrets of it. So yeah, it's basically crap. Unfortunately, he's just an author that come up with the idea of conning people, really. James has wrote so. I'm not sure what that's referring to. It scrolled to the bottom again. It keeps doing that. Sorry guys, let me just... I'm not too far from the bottom. Okay, nearly there. Scientology. Pickle Lines wrote, is there a difference between how Dingir was used in Sumerian and later in Akkadian text? I only re-looked at the name the other day because someone asked me to do it. So it's the Dingir is definitely Sumerian, so I haven't looked at what the Akkadian version of it is, but we know that the Sumerians, the Anunnaki, used the Sumerian language first because Inanna wrote a love poem to Dumuzi in that same dead language, what they call a dead language now, which suddenly appeared out of nowhere and was the first language as well, which is what Enlil would have used. So the chances of Enlil using one of his made-up languages as the first language to teach people would have been, been stupid to do that. So he would have taught them the first language that he had, which makes sense, because they split the territories up into 4, and Enlil's territory was Sumer to start with. So Dingir would have been the actual name, that would have been how they would have said it. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong, but that's the name for them. And obviously Akkadian and Babylonian we know are different languages because they got mixed up because of the Tower of Babel Sky Tower incident. A Vamps has wrote opinion on CK situation. Anyone want to help me out on CK? Don't know what CK is. Anyone know what CK means? Opinion on CK. I'm guessing you mean Clark Kent. I don't know what CK is. Oh right, okay. Apparently I don't go there, so I have no idea what it was anyway, so I apologise, but Clark Kent is cool. Certainly Christopher Reeve's Clark Kent. CJRIS has wrote, so how do we create portals? I don't know how we create portals. I mean, there are people out there that say they've created portals, and then there's, but I can't say exactly the mechanics of how they do it, so I can't answer that one, I'm afraid. Clarice has wrote, gosh, I'm so out of the loop, I'd never heard of this. CK, yeah, I don't know what it's referring to either. Lewis has wrote, did the gods have pets as we do? It's a good question. Go number 2 in the class for that, Lewis. We know Inanna did. She had lions. We know that because there's carvings of her with the lions. I think I may have read some text with her with the lions as well. So yes, Marduk has been described with his pet Lemushu. So yes, and we've got carvings of his pet. So yes, it kind of, his pet was a, mainstream call it a dragon, but it wasn't a dragon. It absolutely categorically wasn't a dragon, but mainstream call it a dragon. But it was a creature that kind of looked like a chimera in terms of its tail, its body, its horns. So imagine a dog, a thin dog, like a whippet. Imagine a whippet that had a forked tongue, a couple of small horns on the front instead of ears, or as well as ears. I couldn't see the ears. I don't remember seeing the ears. A couple of horns. I mean, they could have been ears that, you know, we look as horns. So to be honest, it may not have been, you know, at the wrong angle. You know, carving an ear could just look like a horn, I guess. But anyway, and the towel looked like, you know, no other towel that we would see anywhere else. So people assume that that's a dragon. Of course, it doesn't even have wings. But that was his pet. Yes, absolutely his pet. So yes, they did have pets. Whether or not Enki had a pet, or any of the other Anunnakis had pets, more than likely. So yes, they did have pets. Now, whether that Lemushu was from Earth, you know, pre-flood, or whether it was you know, a dinosaur type creature that survived, or one after, or whether he brought it from his home planet, I don't know. We've never found the skeleton. You know, for all we know, it could have come from his own planet, and there's only one of them, so it's literally like looking for a needle in a haystack. If it had already died, it may still be alive for all we know. So, but yes, they definitely had pets. D. Krivanoshikino has wrote, Lucifer is Enki. Yes, no, absolutely not. Absolutely not. No, categorically 100,000% no. So I have solved who Lucifer was with evidence, but I'm not releasing that information until December the 24th because I have to make the video, which I haven't done yet, and I need people to watch the video to understand why. Because if I just blurt out a name, you'll go and Google it and go, no, that's not. But so when I show you all the evidence on why, you'll all go, wow, okay, there's nothing to do with Enlil, nothing to do with Enki, nothing to do with Marduk, nothing to do with the Igigi. I can't spoil it. And he had red hair. Lucifer had red hair. And Inanna's described as having red eyes, which is interesting. So I'm spoiling a little bit for you guys, but it's so good. Yes, I can't spoil it, but I am so pleased that little old me has solved another. Well, I'm so anyway. Enough of me being. D. Knopfers has wrote, I don't believe you. Tell you what, all you have to do is go watch one of my documentaries, the one on who Yahweh was, the one on who Kronos was, the one on all sorts, any of them, and come back and say, well, what you'll do is you'll come back and say, frickin' hell, you're good. You are a genius. Because what you can't do is, and you won't do, is come back and say, I don't believe you on Lucifer. Because you'll watch those other ones and you'll go, you've nailed all those other ones, and when you say you've nailed it, you nail them. So when you say you don't believe me, go watch one of those. Anyone, go watch them all. and you will come back and say, I can't wait for your Lucifer video because whatever you say, I am 100% behind. You will. You can't, unless you can prove me wrong, which you won't, with evidence, which you won't, you have no choice but to believe me. Because I showed the evidence. That's it. I don't know what else to say. I show the evidence, and that's why I don't get debunked. It's not because I'm big-headed or anything, even though I am. Kerry's wrote, all this mermaid talk is a sign for me to be a mermaid for Halloween. I'm picturing you doing a breakdance type move on the floor, trying to move along. Make sure you can actually still walk, Kerry. Otherwise, I can imagine someone in a wheelbarrow pushing you around. James wrote to D. Interesting. Well done, Jane. Show your evidence as to why you think Enki is Lucifer. And he's wrote, okay. Let's see, because I can guarantee you it's not evidence. I can guarantee you. But let's see. What's your evidence that he is? Kerry's asked. Time check 6:30. Thank you, Kerry. I'm just looking at the time now. Where's the clock there? Okay, Jazz has wrote. So we'll this guy won't reply, by the way. He can't. So we'll see what happens. Jazz has wrote. Was it possible the 10? That was what was pinned again. Thank you, Jazz. I apologise for missing that. I try to read every single question, as you know. D has wrote to Kerry. Lucifer is the light bearer is the same story as the other light bringers. Is that your evidence? Told you, ladies and gentlemen. What a pile of crap. Excuse me, but what a pile of crap. What a pile of crap. So now you would have to prove that Enki was a light bringer. And then you could say, well, hang on a minute. I know who it is. I can prove it 100%. But let's just take yours down. So Lucifer was the light bringer. He is the same story as the other light bringers. So you've now said there's plural light bringers. So you now need to narrow it down to Enki. Oh, do I? Yes. Oh, I should have just wrote same as one other light bringer. Well, then there's two then. So you've got Lucifer and Enki if there was one other. Oh, you're clever. You're making me sound... I know. I'm going to just watch your video when it comes out. I'm going to shut up now. No worries at all, D. Yeah, you won't be able to prove. That's not evidence. And the thing is, I'm actually in my documentary using that light bringer, which for the actual correct version of what it actually is referring to, but you have no idea what it is because you just think that it's... Sorry. Nicole's wrote out your history. Have you looked into shaman? Watched ? Do they actually have magical powers for weather, etc.? I have touched on it actually with some AI chats. And again, please don't think that I use AI for my research. I use it really as an entertainment tool for you guys to see A, how bad mainstream lie, and B, how quick I can catch them out. So that's really what I use AI for. Occasionally AI gives me a bit of snippet of information that I'm unaware of, so so it is good in that way. But as a general tool, I certainly don't use it for research, as you know. Not proper research. But anyway, going back to the shamans. So the chats I have done with AI on that lead me to believe no, unfortunately. It's from what I can ascertain over the years, basically what used to happen is there used to be oracles for the Anunnaki, and of course if you're no good to them, then you get booted out. And there were some oracles that actually said you're going to win a battle to the king, whoever that king was, whether it was a demigod, human or Anunnaki, and this oracle got it wrong and the oracle's no longer alive. So but they were trusted, and so as time moved on, these oracles, or whatever you want to call them, shamans, witches, all sorts of, they're all pretty much the same sort of thing, based off of the Anunnaki's spells that they used to have, all that kind of stuff. Voodoo, they used to have voodoo. The Anunnaki, they were the first to have voodoo. So over time, and they used to read the entrails of, I'll say goats, because if I use the word kids, because obviously young goats, but people might think I'm being bad. But yeah, so they did all that. The Anunnaki did all of that, and over time, people learnt some of that or heard about it, and because these people were either paid to do it later on in time, not with, obviously Anunnaki wouldn't have paid them, but people would have got asked them for help. And so basically it sort of became, thank you Clarice, from my research it sort of became a bit of a scam from my research, but based off of the original stuff that the Anunnaki could do, that people later on couldn't really 100% do properly, so they just faked it. That's my take on it. D has wrote, Prometheus was a titan and part of the race that created the gods. No, unfortunately, if you do the research, D, you'll find that the titans were the actual Anunnaki, or the Dingirs, that were kings on their planet. So if you actually do the research into who they were, Kronos was Alula, who was one of the kings. 100% evidence of that, if you're interested, which you won't be. So when you realise the Titans were just the kings of Nibiru, then you go, oh, okay, and I can show you all of the evidence of this, but you won't bother because it seems like you're making up some stuff at the moment and probably won't want to learn. I don't mean to sound rude, but we've been down this road so many times with people where they tell us stuff, we know we're right, we have the evidence, they know they don't have the evidence, they're making up stuff, but they won't bother learning. They won't say, hands up, I'm wrong, you're right. They won't do that. They haven't got the balls to do that. So they'll just continuously post stuff on these messages about different things, and they'll change the subject from one thing, then they'll go on to another about something slightly different, to try and make it sound like they know what they're talking about, and they won't actually show the evidence because they don't have any. So I'm just wondering if you're going to be one of these people that will just continuously post stuff without the evidence, because obviously you don't have it, and I do. So no, when you say, and was part of a race that created the gods, no, they were just the kings of Nibiru. Happy to show you the evidence, but you certainly won't want to see it. The same person then wrote, all the same, he was cast out of Olympus by Zeus. I'm guessing you're saying... I'm guessing you're saying that Lucifer was cast out. So first of all, Lucifer is only mentioned once in the Bible, so there's no mention of Lucifer, certainly in Greek text, etc. Now, could you show me the evidence? Now, we all know that what's going to happen here is I'm going to ask for the evidence, he's going to change the subject. Could you show us the evidence that he was cast out of... So let's get this straight. Lucifer was cast out of Olympus by Zeus. Could you show me the evidence of that? Thank you, Van Raver. Van Raver knows that I don't mess around when it comes to evidence. I'm quite a stickler for it, and so are these moderators. So yeah, unfortunately that's going to be complete rubbish. I'm sorry, I can't humour people, and neither can the moderators anymore. They've fed up with people that make up crap. Mupple, I'll just call you Mupp if that's okay. I enjoy listening to you, very educative. Thank you very much. D has wrote, that person has wrote, because it's the same story, that's replying to Kerry about Jesus and the Lightbringer as well. Kerry's wrote, so you think Enki was also Jesus? And then D has wrote, no, but they have something in common, which is Marduk. Wow, talk about stretch. Sorry, D. You do know I have solved who Jesus' real father was, don't you? And so therefore Jesus was a hybrid. Happy to show you the evidence, but you won't bother. So Kerry's asked, what does Lucifer have in common with Marduk? To D, and D's wrote nothing. Me Too's put laughing face. Kerry's wrote then to D, then your theory doesn't appear to be correct. I'm going to let Kerry take over because I do get annoyed with numpties, and I say numpties in a nice way, meaning people that pretend that they know what they're talking about, pretend they have evidence, and then when they get called out, don't show it because obviously they can't. So it's a nice numpty. It's like a polite numpty. I just wish they wouldn't make up stuff. I can't help it. It's just me. I wouldn't do it. Van Raver, thank you, Ran. Pickle Lions wrote, "No need to brush." That's if I was staying in a hotel where Pickle Lion lives, I wouldn't need to brush my hair in the morning. Is what Pickle Lion's saying. Thank you very much, Pickle Lion. Chantel's wrote, "Thanks for your guitar answer. You're more than welcome." Yeah, unfortunately, you'd think, because of the long fingers and everything, but no, I'm tone deaf, really. I'm good on a computer, but not. Yeah. JT is right. I'd love to know the technology behind it. I am slightly behind, so I don't know what that's referring to. I'm so sorry. I'm trying to think. I don't. I've covered a few subjects since. This is live. I'm sorry. Yeah, I think that was when I got booted off here as well. Pickle Lines wrote, "I hear you." Clarissa's wrote, "Loud and clear audio." Sewers wrote 48. That was earlier. We're on 54. Yeah, they certainly limited me to 50. I mean, they booted me off when I was 55 or 56. Clarissa's wrote, "The Rotters." Yeah. Darwin's wrote, "The exorcism's real, and do they work? Is the jinn or something else?" So from my research, and I have got a chapter on poltergeists. So from my research, it's the jinn that take over the pineal gland as opposed to a dead angry person or dead evil person, whatever you want to call them. So possessions, I believe, are the jinn, which is another light energy being similar to the light energy beings that join with us to learn. These other ones that have been at war, according to the Emerald Tablets, at war since the beginning of time, they're the ones that, from my research, that join with the pineal gland or force the other orb out or try and force their way in. And it seems to be when you're lowest or your chakra's low or your energy's low, that they seem to try to infiltrate and join with you. That's from my research. So yes, I would say it's the jinn. Andy's wrote, "The first two mummy people, does that have some does he have some emerald tablets?" The first to mummy people, does he have some emerald tablets? I'm guessing you're asking who the person was that may have been the first person, because there's a video coming out that's called Mummies and Tombs that I've done in 12 days time, and Andy, the little bugger, is very clever, and Andy's worked it out already without even needing the evidence, because he's picked up on what I've said and understands stuff, and probably watched the American video as well, and knows who that person would have been based on everything that he's learnt from me, hopefully, and is correct, Andy. That's all I'll say. I don't want to say any more because obviously I think it's an hour and a half video that I'd love people to listen to regarding the mummies and the tombs. Yeah, I'll put it on in a minute, Clark. Alrighty. Kerry's wrote, "Don't go there," but that was pinned. JT has wrote, "At least you're aware of it." That was around the same time as CK. Mike has wrote, "I just got kicked then as well." Did you really? I wonder. Yeah, it's a sucker, isn't it? I don't know what to do. I have got a backup account, which is what I'm reading the messages on. Maybe I should try that the other way around, see what happens. I don't know if I need 1,000 followers on this backup account. I don't know what I've got. So, Apples just wrote 704 time, haha, your voice. So I'm slightly behind, but not that far now. There's only 4 messages by the looks of it. And he wrote, is Lucifer the grandson of Inanna? No. Nice try, Andy. Absolutely beautiful try, but it's not. Very good try, but no. You'll get it at some point before the video comes out if you're going to keep going down that train of thought. But that one's not correct. But amazing work there, Andy. Andy's turned into a excellent student. Scarily, because he's coming out with things. He sends me messages in the background, and I can't wait for him to do a live one day, and I'll just sit there and pick his brains. Pickles Lines wrote tap. Oh, bless Pickle Line. Kerry's wrote, I bet I know who Lucifer was. Tell me in the background if you don't mind, only because I'm guessing you know it because of the things that I've said, so it would be a shame for you to blurt out who it was from my research, if that makes sense. Even though you may know who it is, does that make sense? Because I'm kind of proud of working it out. So if you've worked it out from what I've said, then you've kind of worked it out from my research. So I'd like my video to go out first without people... But I'm sure you probably have, Kerry, because you're very intelligent. Van Ravers wrote, good evening. Hi, Van Raver. Nice of you to join. JT's wrote, sorry, my bad. Don't worry about me. No worries. Andy's wrote, I can't wait to watch all you do. You're my Miyogi. What, Clark?
The oven.
You put it in the oven?
Yeah, it's hot.
All right, 2 seconds, Clark.
Okay.
I'm right at the end there. I've got one more question. I'm your Miyogi. Thank you very much, Daniel-san. Scrolling down, Andy's wrote, soz with the fishing, I'm stuck in traffic now. Please don't drive and touch your phone at all. I wouldn't want anyone to get A, knock over anyone, and B, get caught driving while touching the phone. Tucker's wrote, did the orbs inhabit the Anunnaki? I believe they did, Tucker, yeah. It's a good question. You're number 3 in the class for that. Yeah, so they basically have talked, the Anunnaki talk about spirits. And they talked about spirits from the get-go. So they were aware of spirits. I don't think they had the ability to talk to them, not until after the Great Flood, not until Thoth managed to figure out how to talk to the actual orbs directly. But they certainly were aware of dead people and spirits, but they didn't know how or what or why. Very similar to us, basically. We're aware of dead people. We're not really aware of the orbs, but we're aware of spirits. So it seems like the Anunnaki were like where we are now, where they knew about life after death. Otherwise, I wouldn't do some of the practices that they did. But they didn't know how to communicate with the actual orb itself, not the person, the orb, until Thoth does his meditation in a pyramid that he built, that I think he built deliberately. I think it's Khafre's pyramid, which he built deliberately to have an out-of-body experience and talk to the orbs and then write down his findings. And then straight after that, you've got tablets where Inanna's rushing over to Egypt to try and learn the secrets of immortality and all that kind of stuff, and so did Ninurta. So we know that, and then they ended up writing the Book of the Dead. So if you piece all of that together at the same time frame, it looks like Ningazida figured stuff out, and they all went over there to try and learn from him about, what's it like in the afterlife, and what they can do to have some sort of immortality. So yeah, I mean there is a passage in one text where Enki says, I can't remember who he's talking to. He says, I don't know if it's Enlil. He says, he's talking about someone else. He says, I haven't given them the knowledge of bringing back the dead or something like that, or words to that effect. But this was moved up right. We're talking 4,000 years ago, not hundreds of thousands of years ago. So this is after Thoth would have done all of his learnings. So yes, I do believe the Anunnaki did have a pineal gland. I do believe the orbs joined with them, just as they seem to do with any creature that seems to have a pineal gland here on Earth. Or certainly from the clairvoyants and mediums that's talked about the animals that they've seen, the genuine clairvoyants, not the fake ones. Because you ask the fake one and they'll tell you anything you want to hear. But yeah, I mean, I've spoke to fake ones, I've spoke to genuine ones over the years. So, and the first question I'd learnt to ask is there a heaven? So if you're ever talking to a spirit or a clairvoyant or medium, okay, thank you, Clark. 2 seconds.
No problem.
If you ever talk to a clairvoyant or medium or spiritualist, just say, is there a heaven? If they say yes, walk away. Seriously, walk away, because heaven is space. It says it in the Bible. It says in heaven we can see the sun, stars and moon. It's space. But if they say no, it's a lower and higher frequency, then you've got a good one. So that's the best way to test whether or not. Because if they say, oh no, there's a heaven and there's pearly gates and all this crap, just walk away. Kerry's wrote Clark. Kerry has wrote, hello Clark darling. Hello. He said hello. Ramvavers wrote, just one question, what's your thoughts on the 3-eye atlas? I haven't done much research on it, I'm afraid, because it's changing quite rapidly and I've been busy on other things, so I apologise. I can't give you my 100% evidence-based thoughts yet, so I will need to look into it at some point. Andy's wrote, the flood must have left a lot of orbs with nothing to do human-wise. Interesting point there, Andy. Go number 3 in the class. Yeah, I mean, let's assume that Homo sapiens, the first ones, the primitive workers, let's assume they had orbs joined with them. Let's assume they had pineal glands. So thank you, Van Raver. So the amount of people, if we can extrapolate the breeding, that over 3,000 years, if you have 50 people, you can end up with 1 million people over 3,000 years. So we're talking 200,000 years before the Homo sapiens come along. So if we assume, give or take, the same sort of thing, then there would have been millions of I'll call them humans, millions of humans here on Earth by the time the Great Flood came, which was 290,000 years after the very first Homo sapiens sapiens. So millions of people that may have had orbs, spirits, souls, whatever you want to call them, that joined with them after they all died. Yeah, I mean, it was a mass. There's your exodus in the Bible. It's a mass exodus. It's like, well, what do we do now? Yeah, no, it's a really good point. Yeah, it's clever point. Yeah, suddenly they all. I mean, they obviously didn't see it coming, or they may have seen it coming, because they can. We know they can travel forwards and backwards in time, because your loved ones shouldn't be able to tell you stuff when you talk to a clairvoyant, and yet they can, that they shouldn't know from the past or the future. So yeah, I mean, they probably were aware of it, but there's nothing they can do, because they're not technically not supposed to interfere, from what I can gather. Fabian's wrote, no, that's not what happened. Hang on, Clark, someone's just told me, no, that's not what happened. When that happens, I need to find out where I got something wrong with evidence. 2 seconds, Clark, okay? You can have a little bit of milkshake.
I do.
You got milkshake already?
Yeah.
We went to the shops today and I bought him a milkshake for being a good boy. Fabian's wrote, no, that's not what happened. If you could let me know, Fabian, where I'm wrong. Now, you do follow me, so you know that I don't lie and you know that I don't make mistakes. So could you let me know, as Kerry had wrote, enlighten us. So let's see what... Well done, Kerry. I was hoping you'd say that. North Assassins wrote, let's talk about King Nimrod. So I've got a video, as I was just reading out a short while ago, on who Nimrod is, based off of my research, and that is due 45 days. So I don't really want to talk about it because, I say this hand on my heart as the foremost expert on the Anunnaki, because I've just solved who Lucifer was, and I've solved other things. If I start talking about who Nimrod was now, then no one's going to want to watch my video on Nimrod. So I apologise. After 45 days, once it's dropped, we can chat about it, if that's okay. Fabian's wrote to Kerry, pardon, and then Fabian's wrote, you have no idea what happened. Kerry's wrote, you said that's not what happened. And then Fabian's wrote to Kerry, all kinds of things happened. So is it not possible that one of the things that I was talking about actually happened, Fabian? Fabian, you do know what I'm like, don't you, Fabian? I'm quite good at... And Kerry's good at this sort of thing. So unfortunately, I think you're going to end up looking like you wish you didn't open your mouth. Sorry, I don't mean to sound rude, but let's be honest, one of us is going to come out on top. But let's see where we go with this. Also, remember, everybody, Fabian's wrote all kind of things happen, but obviously, supposedly my stuff that I've spoken about didn't happen, but all other kinds of stuff did. You can see where we're going with this. You can see the mentality. I don't mean to sound rude, Fabian, but you can see the logic less for that kind of statement. Pickled Lions wrote, your son is so polite. He is until you try and put him in the bath, or he wants to go to school or has to go to school. Then he's Lucifer. but yeah, we tried to make him, I'm not with my wife anymore, God rest her soul. But we don't worry, she's still alive. No, we drummed it into him for the please and thank yous because we do it ourselves. Well, I do anyway. Kerry's wrote to Fabian, that's why I asked you tell us. So yes, we're waiting for Fabian's reply. Fabian's wrote, you tell me what happened. There you go. This is exactly what I was saying, ladies and gentlemen, about the intellect of some people. So Fabian had said, that's not what happened, to something that I'd probably said. So Kerry says, okay, what is it, enlighten us. So Fabian says, pardon. And then Kerry says, well, you said you know what happened. And then Fabian wrote, lots of things happened. And this is like talking to a 3-year-old at the moment. I'm sorry, Kerry. Not you, Kerry. You're having to deal with a 3-year-old intellect. So then Fabian then wrote to Kerry, you tell me what happened. So to start with, the person said that I'm wrong, which we know is not going to happen. And now he can't even back up where I'm wrong, and he's now asking us to tell us what happened. We'd already told you what had happened, but you'd already said, no, it's not what happened. Fabian's thinking, English probably in my first language. No, it doesn't matter. I don't care. Doesn't mean English people are smarter than everyone else. Fabian von Bellinghausen. Oh, okay. So don't use your language as an excuse. Don't say that English people are smarter than everyone else because you don't speak English. You should still... If I went to another country, I would ask 1,000 questions until I understand exactly what they were referring to. So far, Fabian, what we've got is you have no idea what you're talking about. You tried to say that I'm wrong, and now you have no idea what it is that I'm wrong about. Not looking good, Fabulon, and you follow me, and I like smart people that follow me. I know it sounds rude, and I was the thickest kid in school right until I left. So I know about thick, according to the school. So please don't go there, Fabian, please. Kerry's wrote back to Fabian, your refusal to elaborate is very telling. Fabian's wrote, we can't just spill information like that everywhere. I can. I've got documentaries and all sorts of stuff, and I'm telling you now, I mean, you can type it in. But anyway, Fabian's then wrote to Kerry, I discussed that over a cup of coffee sometime. Well, you can't come on, Fabian. You just made yourself look like a 2-year-old instead of a 3-year-old now. So you can't come on, say I'm wrong, and then say I don't know what I'm talking about. What was wrong? Asking us, and then say, oh, I can't talk about it, but we'll have a chat over a cup of coffee. Fabian, come on, Fabian, come on. Thank you, Gary. You know why it frustrates me, Gary? Gary knows why it frustrates me, because according to school I'm thick, and when I read illogical comments, it winds me up, because everyone should have been smarter than me, and I come across people that just can't grasp what they're talking about. So basically, Fabian, if you don't mind me putting words in your mouth, you didn't want me to be correct, so you said that. You didn't realise me and Kerry was going to call you out for it, and now you're changing it for the old jokey, oh, I'll have a cup of coffee. So instead of not wanting me to be right, why don't you watch my documentaries? You follow me. Watch my documentaries, come back with evidence and tell me where I'm wrong. And do you know what I would do, Fabian? Because I've got big cojones. I would say, thank you very much if you've proved me wrong with evidence. Amazing. I will now learn from your research, and I will change my research, because that's what I'm like. I'm not going to sit there and go, oh, well, he's got better research than me, he's proved me wrong, but I'm still going to fight it, and I'm now going to say I want a cup of coffee. I wouldn't do that. If someone's got, thank you, Sue, if someone's got evidence where I'm wrong, I will put my hands up and say, I'm wrong. This guy's got amazing evidence. Excellent. Fantastic. Where did you get that evidence from? Blah, blah, blah. And yeah, cool. No problem at all. I have no problem being proved wrong if it's proper evidence. And Kerry's wrote back to Fabulon, that translates to you know nothing, and that's referring to over a cup of coffee. Yeah, that's pretty much what I was just saying as well. Fabian's then wrote to Kerry, are you willing to come for a cup of coffee with me? I could perhaps divulge more. Oh my God, I feel Kerry's going to do an executive order in a minute. Fabian's wrote, I've never seen anything like it in my life. So you know exactly what happened to be able to tell me that I was wrong. Interesting. I'm guessing a time machine may be in order there for you, Fabian. Kerry's wrote to Fabian, you can shut up now. Mikey's wrote, now this is why I love the live. Rip them to shreds, lad. Thank you very much, Mikey. It's not my intention. I just thank you though. I just get fed up with people making up crap, and so do the moderators, and so do you guys now, I'm guessing. There's just, why people lie? Why? I don't get it. Why? Fabian, why? Could you? I like to learn things. I'd love to know why you think you can write what you think, and then expect other people to believe it without backing. I don't know. I can't. Oh well. Brendan's right. I've just joined, but it's strange to hear people who know never can back up what they say. I know. Yeah, I don't know if you follow me, Brendan, but I do put the effort, and I do put. Do the documentaries and the videos, and I never show my face, but I show the evidence. But yeah, people come on these lives all the time and just say stuff and just make up stuff, really. It's like there's people out there now on TikTok where they show their face and they talk about the Anunnaki, and they don't know nothing about the Anunnaki. Brendan read that one. Aptos has wrote, love to see you in real life too. Oh, thank you very much. Probably not going to happen, I'm afraid. I did go out with a girl from TikTok who saw me one day when I did my one-time live where I showed my face, and she contacted me after. She'd been following me, and she contacted me after, and I hummed and hawed. I thought, do I meet this person? Is it a catfish? Is it someone that's pretending, because they want to find out who I look like or whatever? So I really, really debated on it. I spoke to her on the phone, so she was, a real person, female, the old type females, she seemed genuine, and I look back at all the conversations that I had, and she'd been following me for a couple of years. She had never seen my face, and I look back at all the conversations, and I thought, okay, she seems trustworthy. So we set up a meeting for coffee, and ended up going out with her for about a year. But so you can see, it's difficult for me to show my face because I only have one eye in the middle of my forehead. But no, when I'm talking about, Lucifer is this, and you've got people that following Luciferians that have no idea what they're following, and I'm rewriting the Bible, doing a book that's rewriting the Bible. I'm going to have people that don't like me, so it just makes sense not to show my face, unfortunately. I'm so sorry. I mean, roll back the clock. If it was me talking about movies or something, then I'd probably show my face all day long, but yeah. Brendan's wrote, I'm not talking about you, mate. No worries at all, Brendan. No, it's all cool. Yeah, no, I knew that. I guessed that, yeah. Mikey's wrote, good entertainment. Chris has wrote, historic facts. I do back up the stuff that I say, but obviously if someone's got evidence that I don't, I just read Sue's comment. Yes, put him in his place, Slow Lane. This is why I like more than 50 people, because we get randoms on when we have hundreds or whatever, and they don't know who I am, and they don't know the moderators, and they don't know anything that we're talking about, and they come on and they just literally splurt out crap, and then we say, could you show us the evidence on that? It's a car crash for them. Pickle Lines wrote, wait, what? I'm first in line. I'm guessing to see what I look like. Bless you. I do need a haircut, if that helps. Now you've got a little bit more knowledge. But yeah, no, I'm afraid. I'm just trying to think who I would describe myself as in looks. My friends will say that I look like I don't know, someone ugly, I guess. But no, I don't know. I don't know who I would say I look like. I'm unique. No, I'm not. I don't know. Maybe I'll ask Kerry. She's seen a picture of me. Maybe I'll ask Kerry how she would describe me as someone else. Just the sort of jawline, face, I guess. But I don't know. Sorry. Yeah, just have an imagination. But I have got hand, and wait for it, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to love this. You're absolutely going to love this. Watch the screen, ladies and gentlemen. Look, 2 hands. See? Look at that, 2 hands. See? So, and yes, I am ambidextrous. No, I'm not. So now you get to see a part of my body. That's the only part you're going to see, I'm afraid. If you're lucky, I might show you my toes down the line. Brandon's wrote, yes, I do, for a long while. Follow me. Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, I checked as well. Chris has wrote, the Nana. I'm not sure what that means. police or something. Aptos wrote, no, I don't mean romantically. No, I know. And damn you all to hell if you don't mean that. No, no. I pointed out the romantic side just because if I was going to meet someone from TikTok that knows what I look like, it probably wouldn't just be a normal meet and greet. It'd have to be something more. Not because I want, it's just because I need to trust the person. So that's the way I looked at it. Maybe I looked at it wrong, but I was going to. There was a few years back. We was going to all have a meet up at London, the London History Museum. There was a lady called from Scotland that was going to come down as well, but just didn't seem to happen. So since then, I've had more followers and stuff, and probably more hate. So, and more debunking I've done of other people. So they probably don't like me either. So to know where I am on a certain day is probably not a great idea now. Kerry's wrote, "Laugh out loud, one eye." No, you don't have. I've seen you. Well, Kerry, you've only got one eye as well, so I'm joking. Kerry's swimming at the background right now, in fact. Pickle Lines wrote, and if you show your face, I'll be the first to see it, right? Well, Kerry's already seen it. I've sent her 2 pictures, actually. So forgetting the other female that I dated, Kerry's one of the only other few people that have seen my face on TikTok. There was some people way back when I did my live that may have seen me live, but they were so scared and run away that they've never probably come back. Sorry, I hate talking about looks because it's very subjective. I have a particular type, and people say to me, like if I at work, if I point out someone that I like on a picture or video or something, they'll say, "Oh, that's you could do better than that," or that's. But so it's subjective, I guess. Sorry, why am I waffling about all this sort of stuff? Chris has wrote, "Back it up, or do you mention it at all? Run facts. Some have a rough time listening." What is it you would like me to talk about, Chris? I'm just trying to see where Chris is. See whether Chris follows me, just so I know whether or not Chris understands. You do follow me? Yeah, sorry. Or do you mean the other guy that didn't back it up? Mikey's wrote, "World is a bad place. Need eyes in the back of your head these days. And you got family, so not worth it." Yeah, I've seen one of the new crazes is people basically choke holding people, and then an accomplice comes, grabs their bag or whatever off of the person that's now unconscious because he's been grabbed from behind without even knowing it. So yeah, it's and the sad thing is, even if they get caught, they'll just get let off of it, because there's certain type of people, and I can't say what type of people, but certain type of people that all the governments around the world will allow them to do it because there seems to be an agenda. So they'll not get, if you tweet, you'll be put away because you're, but if you, sad, you're right. Pickle Lines right, Kerry, what does he look like? Chris says, you like rocks? Not for breakfast. Aptos has wrote, haha. Chris has wrote, laugh out loud. Chris has wrote, ha ha ha. Kerry has wrote, I'm sworn to secrecies, but he's very good looking. Thank you, Kerry. The check's in the post. See, I told you it's subjective. Kerry's probably the only person that's ever said that. Thank you, Kerry. And Kerry is gorgeous herself, as you know, and she can swim like a fish. Questions wrote, laugh out loud. Pickle Loans wrote, Is it like Jason Momoa, Robin Williams, Will Smith, or Ed Sheeran? I hate to see the reply. Chris has wrote, I'm here for seeing more. So I have got a website, Chris, if you're interested, with documentaries, long documentaries where I show evidence on things. And I have solved things that no one else has solved, and continue to do so. So yeah, my advice is, if you're interested in learning stuff, go to my website and you'll knock yourself out on whatever it is you're interested in. I cover so many subjects. Chris has wrote, yes, same here. Chris has wrote, nah. Ikaratio2, I'd probably pronounce it wrong. He's wrote, hi there. Hi, IK. Can I call you IK? Kerry's wrote, I should really plan a trip to the UK. I need a tour guide. Well, you know what I look like, so there's no point in me hiding from you, Kerry, I guess. Kerry's pinned up my website address. Thank you, Kerry. Bless you. Well, I can show you the crap holes here in the UK, and the potholes, and and you'll probably need a digital ID to walk around and breathe. But yeah, I'm here if you need me. Chris has wrote, you have good luck with females. Can in the voice. I'm guessing you mean can and tell in the voice. I'll be honest, my first proper girlfriend, was when I was 23. So I was a very shy person. I also was very fussy, not saying I had many options back then. We're going back years ago, but yeah, so the first proper girlfriend is exactly who I would have went out with, and did end up marrying that person. Unfortunately, personality and stuff like that isn't always great, but the looks were exactly what I wanted. So yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, I try not to flirt with people. I really do. So I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I try not to. On the film that we shot, one of the women that's married says she loves me and wanted to do stuff with me. So, and I wasn't even trying to. Anyways, enough of this. What you like? You get me talking about stuff. Sorry, it scrolled to the bottom. Where was I? Tour guide. Good luck with the females. You mean genuine females? Yes. Ikaris wrote Archons. So from my research, no such thing. I have been researching for over 40 years, but no such thing as an Archon. I think the closest you'll get is the Jinn from my research. So I think people have done what they normally do and make up stuff and added stuff to it to make it sound cool, and then it gets passed down and stuff like that. So yeah, I don't think there is. If anything, it's the Jinn, which would be a sort of, dare I say it, a dark light energy being. Pickle Lines wrote, I do not care what you look like, I just want my tea. This started off with me saying, make me tea in the morning, and now it looks like I'm your tea bitch. No worries at all, Pickle Line. 2 sugars or 1? Chris has wrote, yes. Pickle Lines wrote to Chris, not the voice for me, I'm samosexual, and if I'm not mistaken, that means you like intelligent people, so what the hell are you doing here? Because I can't even pronounce that word. So you're obviously barking up the wrong tree, Pickle Line. Chris has wrote, oh, we there now. Chris has wrote, yes, we need to meet. Chris has wrote, it'll be shh. And then Chris has wrote Tennessee. I'm over in the UK, although sometimes I wish I was somewhere else. Jenny Medina has wrote, I believe more and mystical creatures, and I do in religion. We don't talk about religion here really. Religion is just groups of people that was worshipping whatever god it was, or gods at the time in ancient times, and over time it turned into a religion. That's all what religion is, and the gods being the Anunnaki. Pickles Lyons wrote, it's difficult to be sapiosexual. I'm guessing you mean like people that are intelligent. Again, what are you doing listening to me? I think that's what that word means. I have had... The reason why I know what it means is because I have had women say the same thing to me before, and I'm guessing they thought I was... I faked it so well that they thought I was intelligent. But I might be completely wrong. It may be a different word, in which case you were after someone with a 7 foot you-know-what. Chris has wrote yes. Chris has wrote 118, and then Chris wrote before kiss. I'm guessing that was your age. I had a girlfriend, but we only kissed for a few weeks when I was 18. So I did go out with someone, but I say proper girlfriend because Chris has wrote crazy all my past partners call me a player. Don't make sense. Probably in the description there, all my past partners. That's probably where it's come from. Maybe don't say that too much. I've only ever been with one woman. Honest. Now the problem is that guys know that I don't lie, so now I'm going to have to admit that it's maybe more than one. Pickle Lines wrote, try hard not to. I'm guessing that was when I was talking about flirting, maybe. Chris has wrote, had some lows, had some angels, but had some angels. Yeah, women are funny, aren't they, Chris? Let's just me and you chat about women. They're crazy, aren't they? What they like. They all want a bloody cup of tea in the morning. Speaking of tea, TT Norlock has wrote, hello. Hi, TT Norlock. Nice of you to join. I was just looking at how many people we got still, 42. So, yeah, TikTok certainly limited me today. Pickle Lines wrote, no sugar, just... Okay, I will try and remember that, but if I get halfway to the kitchen, just shout and remind me. Shara's wrote, follow you for a long time, and member of Patreon, not seeing you display videos live. What is it we've been watching? Thank you, Shar, bless you. Thank you very much. So, TikTok limits me, as you've probably heard me say many 1,000 times. Because they've changed the system now so that if you only do an audio, they limit you even more. So we was down to 20 people. So I come up with the idea of having 2 phones, one pointing at a screen with backgrounds and videos that I've used on my videos. You may recognise some of them, and thumbnails, etc. So I've stuck them all on a 41-minute loop and added that in the background as well, so that it would allow TikTok to allow me to have hundreds of listeners. But unfortunately,
help
what's the matter, Clark?
the microwave.
What did you do with the microwave?
Well, I tried to wait, then I leaned over, turn it on by accident.
You turned the microwave on?
Yeah.
Did it go beep?
No, it's by itself.
Okay, I'm just gonna 1 second, because he doesn't know how to use a microwave, so he shouldn't even...
Wow.
Right, don't touch the microwave at all, okay?
No, wait.
Because you can blow stuff
I
up.
want some of my bread to cook.
Alright, hang on. Alright, well, I was right at the bottom here. We've got nine left, it says. So yeah, that was the background, hoping that we'll get past 50, but they booted me off on my other phone. So yeah, they're booting people off to keep us at the 50 mark. Pickle Lines wrote, you are correct with the word. Thank you very much, Pickle Line. See, I am smart, and therefore that's the reason why you listen to me. I'm joking. Chris has wrote, tossed 100% truth and follow my gut, and it's paid off. I'm intelligent. Right? Or maybe. Well, as long as you're happy and whoever you're with is happy, then I guess that's all good. Chris has wrote, I seem flirt just nice. I've heard that before. Pickle Eyes wrote, seems like me and Kerry have the same taste in tea. Oh, good God, not two women. Okay, moving on. Kerry's wrote, I drink more coffee than tea. It's an American thing. Okay, so no sugar, milk for Pickle Line, and Kerry wants coffee. Okay, I will try and remember all that. Chris has wrote, I've been bad about everyone. I said bad about everyone I love. Eve, one I spoke to the last 73 hours help. Send him a box of chocolates works for me. Do you know what I shouldn't say what I do. There's a song. There's some lyrics for a song. I don't know if you guys know of him. Any Australians might, or Scottish people might. Used to sing in a band called Cold Chisel. His name's Jimmy Barnes, and there's a song, I died to be with you tonight. And so it's amazing that what those words could do. It makes women cry if you send it to them and they think you wrote it. I do tell them after that I didn't write it, but just send them, Chris, just send them a song lyrics. Shah wrote, I love Clark. Oh, thank you, Shah. Kerry's seen Shah, Kerry's seen Clark. Kerry's wrote, Clark is the sweetest. Yeah. Darwin's wrote, thank you, Outer History, an excellent live. One eye, you're so funny. Keep the mystery. I'm sorry. Yeah. If you saw me after, probably having an imagination of what I look like, not because of romantic or anything, but you know how you imagine someone to look. If you saw me, you'd probably go, oh, well, that was a letdown. I don't know. Kerry probably thought the same. Come on, Kerry, own up. Shara's wrote to Kerry, we need Clark in the kitchen live. Yeah, we do. I know, it'd teach you how to make a mess. Chris has wrote, I haven't touched a chick in 2.5 years. It's all bad, not really. Yeah, I'm not going to comment on when I last was with someone. Pickle Lines wrote, Finland, Norway, Denmark, Iceland, Sweden, top in the world for coffee drinking. I'm actually not a coffee drinker myself. I'm a tea. Chris has wrote, I'm a nut. There you go, Chris. That's probably why the 2.5 years. Sue has wrote, I love a strong cup of tea. I like my women like I would like my tea wet. Where's this? This is just degraded, hasn't it? I was going to put this up on YouTube. People think I'm a pervert now. Perverts need love. Chris has wrote, that's crazy hell. I made a vow to get a guitar and use it that awake time that I'm tapping my foot. Yes, I'm not going to read that last one out, Chris. I know where that's going. I bought a harmonica once because before we had mobile phones, I thought, I'll learn to play a harmonica in my car when I'm waiting to pick up my daughters from school or whatever, to use the time wisely because I hate wasting time, and made some noise. So that's enough of that. Kerry's wrote, oh my, yeah. Okay, and on that bombshell, Kerry, I'm going to have to go and do some garlic bread for my boy, who's been bugging me for it. And no, not pizza. Thank you very much, everyone. If you've not listened to me before, so just to let you know, that new video's now out. And it's on my... I'm just seeing if you guys are probably all here, but if you're a Patreon user, it's free. It's gonna come out on tomorrow on YouTube. So basically, it's gonna be probably 100 hours long in total. But the first 7 minutes and episode 2 will be out free, so you can get to it from my website and my Patreon page, and it's called Everything That Happened. Please, I'll stick it on YouTube as well after I've eaten. Please have a watch of it. It's really interesting. I'm just making sure it definitely dropped okay. Everything That Happened, yeah, it's dropped, so you can watch it. Actually, I tell you what, there it is. There it is, episode 1. I'll tell you what, I'm going to press play and turn the volume up a little bit for you guys, just so you can see what it is.
What you are about to watch is the best and closest story of our true history. The researcher known as Our True History is the foremost expert and has solved things people didn't even know could be solved. This is the first video of the series. Check out his channel for more. And documentaries. ourtruehistory.co.uk.
In a universe that is not the one we are in, a planet with beings living on it try to recreate the start of their universe. They use a machine that smashes particles together.
It's better quality. Obviously, I'm filming it on a phone on a screen.
They know it's dangerous, but they still try. They manage to get 2 particles to smash. But what they didn't expect was a new particle is formed. This new particle starts expanding. The beings try everything to destroy this new energy, but can't. Frantically put a force field container around it to stop it expanding even more. They have realized they have just created a universe, a tiny one to them, but still a universe. Energy within the new small universe expands within the force field. But what the beings didn't know is they also created a new life form inside that new universe. Maybe even more than one. These small plasma energy orbs are just starting a life. They know nothing other than to move around. Time moves different inside the universe inside the force field. From the time outside of it, inside time belongs to mass and speed. But other than the orbs, no one is around to notice. The plasma orbs are energy. They won't die.
So I won't bore you, but yeah, it goes on, and obviously the Anunnaki comes into it, etc. So hopefully you guys will go and see that. It's going to be put on TikTok later on today as well. And episode 2 is going to be out in about 14 days, which I've already done. Suze wrote, excellent, can't wait. Oh, thank you. It's quite interesting. It shows, you know, the wrestling match and all that kind of stuff. Yes, I used AI, but it gives a good story breakdown of everything, and it's quite nice and relaxing to watch. So hopefully you enjoy that. So thank you very much. I will let everyone go. Thank you, Sue, for saying that, and thank you to the moderators as well. And I will put it on TikTok so you can watch it properly a bit later, but you can get to it from Patreon. It's free on Patreon, and it will be on YouTube tomorrow as well. Chris wrote, you think an orb has been around this time, Ryan? Timeline, I'm guessing you mean. Yeah, it's based off of the Emerald Tablets, yeah. Okay, right, I've got to go do my boys' dinner, so thank you very much, and I will catch you all again very, very soon. Thank you, everybody. Take care, everybody. Thank you. Bye. Bye. Thank you, moderators.